Welcome to a very special Brewtiful Game. Ladies and gentlemen, live here in the studio of always, I am Blake, and with me is Ferris.
Hola.
In the studio, and not only are Ferris and I back in the studio together, we are joined back in the studio live from hanging out with Carmen Sandiego, traipsing all over the world. We have Ron.
What's happening? It's so nice to be back.
Wow. I can hear it.
In the studio, I can see your face.
I know. I can hear that.
First time in what, a year and a half, 2 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost.
Because even when
It
you
has to be just over 2 years.
Because even the little short stint you had back, we still were doing remote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, we got to see each other a couple of times. We weren't recording like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we weren't.
So we
it's been
are.
probably 2 years.
We're back.
Live.
I know what you're thinking. Ron came all the way back from China because Ferris is in danger of losing the bet, which we're going to get to shortly.
Yeah.
And then you,
The sole motivation.
The hell out of myself. Like even Ron was sure I was going to win, and that just what a matter of weeks the Premier League will do to you is crazy. But I'm sure we'll get there.
Especially when when you're Ferris and you make a bet.
Every time.
So this means for a change, instead of like trying beers separately, which was fine, we actually get to share beers with each other again.
We do, yeah.
Oh, yes.
And you two were just traipsing about. Well, you've been all the way out to
Ron's
China.
been, yeah.
Then you were just up in Vermont.
Yeah, I was just.
So we have beers from both places.
Believe
Oh,
so.
yes. Oh, yes.
Who's kicking it off?
I think I will.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the Brewtiful Game. If you're new, this is what we do. We kick off with some beer reviews. This is what we used to do when we were all in the same studio, and people would pick a beer of the pod to bring in to surprise the rest of the group. Today, we got two of us bringing in beers.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to do it when we're back.
So mine is going to be highly entertaining, in my opinion, because I get to see your faces as you drink this stuff.
God.
And I'll be right there with you drinking it, not like the time I was completely wasted and didn't drink any.
Well, you weren't wasted. You were hungover.
You were hungover. You
And
were
made us
hungover as
drink
hell.
that pork slap.
From what's a brewery called?
Butternuts.
Butternuts.
So is there a China equivalent of
Oh,
butter
there's
nuts?
plenty.
Oh, God.
I didn't bring those. Don't worry.
Oh, thank you.
I couldn't spare the space in my suitcase.
They're relegated as toxic. Could not be flown over.
Okay, so this is kind of a two-part kind of tradition. Okay, so the first thing is from
Oh, mind you, Ron just set shot glasses out. So,
Jeez. Oh, yeah, I forgot about the shot glasses.
yeah.
it's about to go down. All right, so the first thing, straight from the teat, if you will.
What?
This is Tsingtao Brewing, and they are in the province of Qingdao.
And Tsingtao is a beer you actually see in the States.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
Like you can
I
actually
believe
see.
you.
Yeah.
This is straight from the brewery. So I went to the brewery, took a big brewery tour.
So
right?
cool.
And
That's wicked.
it comes in this nice little box that has, all their mascots on it. And it's a brilliantly good beer straight from the brewery. When you get, it manufactured by some contract brewer and then shipped here, and
yeah.
it's not as good. But
It's in a cool gift box, too.
It's like
yeah, straight from
it's like a lunchbox of booze.
It's
if you go to the brewery, it's it's founded by a German brewery when the Germans came over, and
Germans.
yeah, they made wicked good lagers, and that one's for you.
Oh man, that's
Oh,
cool.
man.
What the heck?
Founded in 1903.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
And they own about 15% of the Chinese market share for beer, right? So that's pretty huge. And then they export all over the world, like Blake just said. You can get it in here in the States.
Dude, that lid is an old school.
Yeah, it is. I was looking at
Can
the same
lid.
thing.
Yeah. So these are the pull tabs. So you pull the tab right off, and it really reminds me of the first beer I ever had. My grandfather's was Schlitz.
Schlitz. I was going to say
No,
Schaefer.
Schaefer. That's what it was. And you just pull that thing off, and it's razor sharp. It's beautiful.
So you just peel this up.
Yep, and off. Right, but wait, there's more.
Oh wait.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so
Wait,
When you
there
go
was 3
to
cans of this in there?
yeah, there were
Oh,
3
okay.
cans.
Oh, perfect.
All right, cool.
So when you go to government meetings, which I've had to do many times, you do beer and you do Baijiu chasers.
See, we should do that here.
Who the hell's Bai Joe?
Okay, so Baijiu, has anyone ever heard of shoju?
The show in Japan, it was like the
Yeah,
rice liquor. Is
rice
that right?
liquor or fermented sorghum. So the Chinese do fermented sorghum.
What's sorghum?
It's like
I'm
a
an idiot
sugar,
over here.
right? Like
Yes.
it's a
Oh, okay.
Now,
like molasses, but it's not molasses, but it's
Right.
like a
they ferment it, so they distill it, then they ferment it, just like you would your whiskeys and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, the last time we did this, it was Ferris doing a cheap Ohio beer with a shot beforehand.
And the interesting thing is that this is a 62-year-old Baijiu.
What the
swanky.
what?
Yeah.
Look at that thing.
Dude,
So-
it's like Indiana Jones up in the
I
studio
know, but
right
it's like
now.
Indiana Jones Christmas. Booze Ventures.
So this is a pretty highly rated one. These cellar preserved alcoholic beverages are produced in a very limited quantity. Therefore can only leave opportunity for public screen own alcohol to enjoy. That's a horrible translation. Everybody,
That's a Google Translate if I ever heard one.
while this ale is in, the strong is out. I love the translation.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Anyway, we're gonna crack this. So what you do is, much like you chase this with the beer. As soon as I can get this open.
Oh, so this is like Ferris's Ohio beer.
Yeah. The fun
But
thing
from China.
is, I have to figure
Yeah.
out how to open this damn thing. I should have opened it
If
before
I had
the
a
pod.
nickel,
Except I don't know how to open the box.
don't worry. I'm recording you trying to open
Oh,
the box.
perfect.
Yeah, it's I was gonna say, for an audio medium, this is excellent entertainment.
Interesting.
It's supposed-
I don't. To be perfectly honest with you, I don't want to try because I'm going to probably do the exact same thing you're doing. I'm going to fail.
Oh my god, how do you open this damn thing?
I don't.
So there's the seal. So
You-
you're
you-
supposed
you-
to open it.
Do you turn it upside down and have it like fall out, like push it out?
No.
This is why we don't. We probably should have like dress rehearsed this a little bit, or
Man,
but
first
no.
time
I
live
should have
back in the
just, I should
studio.
have just opened it beforehand. But
yeah,
we
no, but it's
didn't-
more fun this way.
Why bother with rehearsal?
But anyways, these cans that you pulled out of the other box that you had,
Yeah.
freaking cool, man.
Yeah,
Freaking cool.
So the cool thing is they have this.
Oh wait, there you
Did you
I
get
just,
it?
I just, yeah.
Yeah, he just.
I
just-
see. Now I understand.
Now you understand how the box opens. Now that you've ripped it apart,
Ah.
Hey, you know. So there's the bottle.
dude. This just gets more Indiana Jones, more
Yes,
Indiana
it
Jones.
does.
Check that.
Speaking
bad
of
boy
which,
out.
did you see his old
Oh,
ass
sorry.
on set of the new one? Unbelievable.
Yeah, he's like 80 something when it comes out.
Love it. I'll still watch it.
And then this is just gonna.
That is like a wax paper on the outside of it.
No. This is
Oh,
ceramic.
this is straight up like wizard looking stuff, man.
Oh, I can't wait till you drink this.
Now I tried. What say it again? The one in Japan
Showed you?
showed you. I remember that, but I don't know if I try any Baijiu.
Now we have broken the seal.
Oh my lord!
This is going to be so great. Okay.
So we have a glass for this beer.
Yep. And so in China,
Ferris, you ever had rice liquor?
No.
this is going to be so fun.
This is gonna.
So you don't do a full shot glass of this, right?
Why is that?
Baijiu, you'll find out.
Okay.
Okay.
Baijiu glasses are like little crystal thimbles. And what you're supposed to do at fancy dinners and things like that, you pour the Baijiu into like a little decanter, and then you
Right.
pour that into your little glass. And then you take your decanter and the little shot glass and you go all around the room and you cheers every single person. And you say something nice about them.
So that's why you can't do a shot glass. You'd be
Oh my
dead.
God, you'd be totally dead. So I would have to go to these, government dinners and cheers these people. But the problem is, since I'm allergic to seafood, they'd be all seafood dinners. So all I would have is like a little bit of rice and an ass load of baijiu.
So you'd have no food in your stomach, and you'd be
Oh my God.
you'd be
So,
shit-faced by the time.
yeah. So I had to invent really slick ways of drinking it without drinking it. Right.
Oh,
So
wow.
I came up with, they serve 3 things at most of these dinners: baijiu, beer, and tea. Never water, always tea. So I learned that you quickly drink a lot of your tea and leave a little bit of color in it. So then you drink a whole bunch of the baijiu, and then you chase it with tea and spit it back out. And the cool thing is, every change of a course in meal, they take your tea away and bring you a new one. Right?
Man.
So, because you're in these government meetings talking business, and you can't be just slosh faced out of your mind, right? So you got to learn. But then I went to some, and there was no tea. And so I would ask for tea, and tea would never show up. And I was like, oh, what do I do now? Right? At the fanciest dinners, they, instead of like napkins or tissues, they bring you these really fluffy jasmine washcloths.
Oh yeah.
Right? And
Sounds nice.
they're moist, and they just,
How much
wash your
baijiu
hands.
do they hold? Ron?
Oh my God, do they hold a lot of baijiu? So you would drink and then
so
just
cool.
wipe your mouth and spit it in.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I'm watching you try to open this.
There we go.
There you
Okay.
go. Pop it open.
Okay, gentlemen. This is going to be so good.
It's like one of my old grandfather's
Smell. Take a whiff.
duck
There
decanters,
go.
you know,
Take a whiff of
but
that, Ferris.
not in Chinese.
It's this. We'll put some pictures and videos up, but it's a glass bottle, but
Actually
it's
smells
made
not
to
half bad.
look like a waxed paper.
Yeah, really bad wax paper job. That's what I mean. It's like a
Oh, it's even got a very small it forces you to pour slowly.
yeah,
in
like a
other
little
words.
Yep.
fountain tipper.
That's for you.
That is clear.
That is.
That thing
amazing.
was laid on fire like you wouldn't believe.
Oh, this is gonna be. This is gonna light on fire. This is gonna light us.
It's
on
a good
fire.
thing that we actually ate
There you go.
I'm glad we
not
had
seafood,
some-
but we had tacos and chips.
and-
and-
yeah. Oof. So Ron, should we pour this beer into a glass?
So we
What would your
can.
recommendation be?
We can. Drink it out of the can is fine.
Beautiful.
For pictures, I'll pour mine
Yeah.
into a glass.
But you need it open because you got to have the chaser. This is
Oh
the
boy,
chaser.
do you.
Okay,
All right,
so-
gents.
here
But
we go.
so here's what I would
How do you
recommend.
recommend?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
so
would
cool.
recommend that we do the baijiu, review the baijiu, and then get the taste out of our mouth with the beer.
So, well, I feel like we got to do like
All right, I
a
like
little
that, yeah.
bit. I want to do like a little bit of it because then I want to do the baijiu with the chasers. To
Yeah, fair enough.
Get
And
the
don't worry, we've
authentic-
got a whole bottle of baijiu here.
Yum. Let's see how this goes.
Remember, I still have a beer too. Just to let you know.
Whoa,
All right, how do you
Look at that. Pull these bad boys right off.
man, it's like an old.
Oh
V8
my God.
like an old V8
Now what do I
can.
do?
Pull
Pull
to
it.
you.
Oh, just pull it. Yeah,
Straight up.
Yeah. Holy hell,
Isn't that crazy?
that is freaking cool.
That is old school, and that smells like an old school beer.
Yeah.
Oh man!
All right, pouring mine out.
All right, gents.
Oh God, this is gonna be so great.
Yeah, we got to get a picture of these cans with this.
Hell
bottle.
yeah.
Oh man!
Look at that. That's a nice,
All right,
that's
so
a nice lager.
Hold on, let me
a
get
Pilsner.
a quick picture of the glass and
Yeah,
stuff
I get a
for
picture of
our
it.
social meds.
oh man. Now, if you've never had baijiu or shochu, like it,
I've never
as
had
I
any
said,
of
this is done from sorghum, so you smell sugar. Like the way a rum has a very molasses flavor. This is a lighter. Woo! This is a light. It's not as dark smelling, like that sort of brown sugary. The smell on this is a very clear.
it. Oh God, I didn't smell it. I smelled it. Ooh. That woke me up.
So you're gonna make us.
After a while, you do get a taste for it, but you won't tonight.
Not tonight.
Many nights.
So you're saying don't chase this?
I'm saying let's take a sip and
Okay.
review the baijiu itself.
Okay.
All right, hold on. Let me get this straight. Am I doing the entire thing?
No.
Just a little
okay,
sip,
just
a
for
little
s-
sip.
flavor,
Gotcha.
and then we'll
Little
do
sip.
the
Okay.
thing.
On the
and then
next one, yes.
do the thing, and then
Do we have
drink.
to? We have to go around and say something nice. Is that what was happening?
That's usually what happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's going first?
Blake's going first.
Okay.
All right. So does that mean I have to say something nice to everybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ron, it's very good to have you back with us in the States and here in the studio. And Ferris, I think you have a great manager at your Man United Football Club.
God bless.
And let's do it.
Oh, oh, oh,
Oh God, I wish I should have been videoing your faces.
That. Think of like cough medicine turned up to like.
It just punched me again.
It like straight rubbing alcohol mixed with moonshine.
With a little bit of
Married with
like a sugar cube.
a sugar cube, but like a really stale old sugar cube.
Yeah.
And a slight wave of a dirty gym sock.
I feel like I just went through something. And we didn't even slug it yet.
Nope.
No, but that, oh my God, that cleared me up a little bit.
So we're going to shoot it now?
You're going to shoot it?
Because I felt like I just did.
Do we got to say something nice?
Yeah, yep, it's your turn.
Okay. God bless the Xing Shu. What was it we had?
Baiju.
Thank you, Ron, for bringing not only that back safe, but yourself and your fiance. And Blake, thank you for having us here, having the Baiju in your lovely abode after 2 years.
Let's try not to destroy my toilets tonight.
Okay.
Shoot it straight.
But get the beer out because you're supposed to chase it with the beer.
Gambe means finish the glass.
This glass, not this glass.
Correct. The
Gotcha,
Baijiu,
okay.
you finish that, Gambe, and then chase it with a beer. Ready? E-R, son.
Gambe.
Gambe. The beer chase helps.
It does, but that aftertaste is wicked.
Well, that's been it for the show. I need a break. I gotta go have a lie down before we do the actual episode.
I'd rather chug NyQuil than holy hell.
Don't worry, you're getting another one, so pass your glasses on.
Of what?
What the what?
Yeah, come on.
Of Tuzhong?
Uno
What's this
Baijiu?
thing called? Baijiu. Why? Wait, hold on. Wait. Why are we doing that again? Oh, you have to do your cheers.
Yeah.
It's everybody at the table.
Everybody at the table.
I figured it out right as he.
Oh man.
I mean, we're gonna keep this up until
we pass out.
It's time until it's time for your beer.
We got to drink this beer fast. We got.
I'll shotgun this thing right now.
I'll give you less Baijiu. Okay.
God bless you.
Believe me, after 2 years, you develop quite an affinity for this.
Is
Is
this even legal that you brought back in the States, or
Yes.
did you like smuggle
I did
this
not
in?
smuggle it in.
So is it that you develop a taste, or you develop an antibody to it?
So to be honest, you develop a taste for it, and
This tastes very different than the show chew.
you guys are being spoiled because you're not getting this $7 a bottle, right?
I thank you
In
for
the-
that.
in the
Yes, I thank
rotten
you. That's what I
green-
should have thanked you for.
If there's one thing, it's a shame that we never got to do this in the pod with him. It would have been the habashu with the Japanese
yeah.
liquor with the viper snakes in it.
Oh yeah.
We used to have. You had to kiss the snake, baby, and drink that thing.
Did I sent you guys pictures of me drinking the bee Baijiu, right?
Yeah, with the bees in it.
It had those gigantic
yes. Yeah, you
bees
did.
in
Yeah,
it.
you did.
That shit was so good.
Cool.
Oh
Man.
man.
Oh man.
All right.
All right.
You ready?
I don't. That hit me like I'm all disoriented.
Yeah. Ooh.
We got
man.
only a couple more to
I'm
go.
not going to
It's
get the
fine.
Jake leg from this.
No, believe me, you're
I
not.
looked it up. It's old moonshine reference. Okay.
Okay, so Blake, it's awesome to be back, and I appreciate your friendship and our continued health and adventures ahead.
Amen, brother.
Ferris, who's about to pass out,
I'm seeing 7 of these glasses right now.
I'm happy to be back and hanging out with you. Here's to lifelong friendship and tons of adventures.
Gumbo. What do we say?
Gambe.
Gambe.
Gambe. We both got it wrong. Gambe.
Gambe.
You know Ron's a pro because he shoots it and waits to put the beer up, and you and I are like slamming. Oh,
Believe me, the first stuff that I had was like,
man, it's that like. Do you remember the guy that got us into so much craft beer, he used to run the Nightly Spirits back in the
Jason.
day. Jason. He had a Vietnamese liquor with a cobra in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it had a very similar,
Like a live cobra?
Not anymore.
It was.
And it had some like roots and stuff, but the aftertaste on this makes it probably was a rice liquor of some kind, but like
Right.
it just, I don't, the thing is like you with a normal liquor, you're like, well, notes of caramel, toffee, buttery. There is no, I don't know how to describe
clear
this
liquor.
at all.
That's what the clear liquor will jack with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got about 15 minutes until one of you burps and
Then all of a sudden, holy fucking
Oh, yeah.
was it? I can't remember.
it's coming back.
Baijiu.
Baijiu.
Bye, Joe.
We're going to get a repeat of the cookie puss burp from Ferris.
I don't know why. I just looked over and Oda's like laughing at me right now by just looking at me.
Oh, my little Yoda is judging you right
He
now.
is
dude.
judging me so hard. It's actually quite eerie.
Show you drink.
You buy
Good luck, white boy.
With Qingtao. Holy. What are we doing now?
Qingtao?
Qingdao.
Qingtao.
Qingdao.
Qingtao.
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
Cilantro.
This beer, though, is a pretty good lager.
So the best thing, they made this beer because so much, or the way the Germans made this beer was to complement spicy food, right? So you have this either ice cold or warm with like a Sichuan hot pot or, a Chongqing kind of really spicy hot food. And then you chase it with that and it kind of cools you out so you can take your next bites. Super good. So it's got a lot of malt. The malt profile is really high, not a lot of hops, so it's not very bitter.
I'm glad you're describing it right now because my tongue doesn't know what to make of anything at the moment. So,
I mean, look at it in the glass. There's no head, right?
yeah, it's super clear.
There's no lacing. It's like this pale straw
Beautiful
color.
straw color, yeah.
And it's, like I said, it's not a beer for, connoisseuring.
It's a beer for lying down and avoiding.
Yeah, after your spicy food.
No, this beer is actually quite good.
It is.
That is.
If you get a bottle here, it won't taste like that.
That I think is the cool part about it is, you can get it here and you're like, oh, this tastes one way, but I've not been there yet, but I always imagine a Guinness to taste a hell of a lot better when it's from St. James Gates and,
I don't know if it's something in the air, but if it's fresher. Yes, it totally.
It may
does,
just be a complete mind thing.
Yeah. I don't. Either way,
like, there may be studies done where this tastes exactly the same way, but
my whole way through Ireland, I just drank Guinness and Murphy's.
Oh,
Because in different counties where some are more popular, they'd be like more popular than the other. Whatever was on tap, it just tasted better while you were over there.
I bet. I can't wait. I mean, I think I said it on the pod. Like we, a buddy of mine and friend of the pod, Phil and I had a trip planned to go, and then all of a sudden, the pandemic happened.
Right.
Well, guys, I'm just saying we got to find someone to fund our Brewtiful Game beers of the Premier League coffee table book we need.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or local brews, local clubs. Well, that's
Or what did I send you guys the other day? Instead of a diner drive-in and dives show.
Brews.
What the hell did I say?
Brews Q and did you have barbecue in there?
Something like that.
I don't know. It was
Launching soon, man. Whoo.
You right?
It's the aftertaste is brutal.
It is a distinct. It is just in me, and I can feel it in my chest.
Brews, brewing, and pubs.
That's it.
I can feel it in my chest like a chest burster from Alien, like just going.
I don't think I'm feeling it in my chest anymore. I'm feeling it in my stomach.
Yeah, the jalapeno laced tacos might have been the worst idea.
Like right there. And I know it's a very bad visual, but I'm sure you can hear it.
Oh, God. Whew.
Well,
Ron,
we'll only do one or two more of those.
Whoa, man! God bless you for bringing this.
Which one was worse? This or what I have Little Kings? But we were drinking Jameson.
No, you were drinking James and Little Kings.
So this has to be
because you said then this should be cheap whiskey.
Chased, but I didn't want to.
And but it is definitely. I did not like shochu in Japan, but I probably never had a bottle that good. So
It's very. It's clean. It's very very clean.
All jokes aside, it does not have like a harsh Everclear vibe. That's what
I was thinking of.
It's that sorghum sugar. It's so prevalent because sorghum, if you've never had like the root or whatever you want to call it with sorghum, it's such an earthy sugar. And this definitely.
Whose was that?
That was Blake. And that was on his nice new mic that he got.
Yeah.
And you only had two. You only had two little bits.
Whoa.
Just imagine drinking that over a 6-hour dinner.
Oh my God, with seafood and like.
Yeah. So the other thing is,
right? I
right?
told you I felt it attacking.
The other thing
is,
we heard it.
Oh, jeez.
You sit at these dinners, right? And dinner's an event. So everybody's like eating a little bit, sit back, smoke, drink baijiu, go around the table. Sit back, smoke, eat, go around the table. So the whole place smells like cigarette smoke, which I hate smelling like cigarette smoke. And I haven't eaten, except I've had an ass load of baijiu. So my fiance would call me on the way home and go, "Hey, how did your meeting go?" And I'd go, "Who cares?" I'd just be so liquored up. And sometimes I had these presence of mind while I was
coming home with a little booze and cigarettes.
It's just you can't write you can't make it up. But she would put like cup of noodles and instant noodles and things like that. She would say, "Oh, you have a government meeting," and the house would be stocked with it. So I'd go home on an empty stomach, and she'd be like, "Just put the hot water in the noodles and eat it." And I'd be like, "I'm fine."
That's amazing. And we should have more business meetings like that. Actually, the whole like have a shot and say nice things about each other.
You'd be saying nice things.
Why don't we do cool stuff like that here?
That's because it would quickly turn into like a government bar fight here in America. Like it would just be a bunch of drunk, angry people.
You get two nice things out.
Yeah, it'll be like, you know, your first round, everybody's nice, hugging each other, and next round, you know, somebody slept with someone's, you know, wife or sister, and there's punches thrown. And,
now, when this is being handed out, is this the thing where you aren't allowed to pour your own glass? Someone always has to pour for you?
No, that's more of a Japanese culture. Here, you pour it in the servers who are basically monitoring the table because everything's family style, right? So you have this gigantic lazy Susan in the middle, and the servers are coming and going, and they're replacing your tea, which is baijiu soaked, or they're replacing your cloth, which is baijiu soaked, your ashtray, your food, whatever it is, and they will pour the baijiu from the bottle into your kind of decanter. Right.
And you can't be like, "No, thanks." Like, you gotta.
No, there is no.
And like, they told you, like, "Hey, before these meetings, like, you gotta."
I had a whole class over a couple of months on how to do.
So nobody from Utah can work. Like, this doesn't work. Like,
so they come and pour it into your decanter, and then you fill yours. Right. And a couple of times I was able to
look like you were pouring.
Well, sometimes the shot glasses, you know.
Oh my God. That might have rivaled the Cookie Puss one. Oh my God. That startled me. I was intrigued with Ron's story just looking at him. And you hear that in your ears? Like, you imagine somebody hearing that in their car driving down the street? Oh my God.
Oh my God. It's like the Cookie Puss because
it
just hit you out of nowhere.
That was earthy. That one was earthy.
Oh, this is brutal. Oh my God, I'm gonna die. Oh, we're all back together.
Turn Yoda towards you now.
Yeah. Oh, we're all back in the studio, and then this is the first and last time we were all back together.
Oh my God.
So,
God.
Here's one more shot for you, buddy.
Oh my God.
You haven't even started talking soccer yet.
No, guys. Okay.
We'll do one more, and then we'll move on, and I'll stop boring you with these craziness.
Okay. Oh, I'm glad you kept the comments tight on your
We got like 4 headlines.
Your head. I can't even talk right now. And your headlines there,
Okay.
Ferris. Whew. Why does it feel like I've run a marathon?
It wears you out. Like my ears are starting to get warm. Like
Yeah. Oh man.
You ready for this?
I am glad we went first, opposed to, or he went first.
Yeah.
'cause,
If we'd had your beer and done, no, this would have derailed everything.
Straight Gombe, gentlemen.
Oh,
Whose
man.
turn is it to say something?
It's back.
Back to Blake.
I think it's back to me.
Okay.
Which it's
It has to be at somebody.
I know it does. I'm trying to say,
Yeah, okay.
like, despite my misgivings about this third shot, I am still so excited you're back, Ron.
I'm here too.
Ferris, I'm so glad that, like, chances are he can't kill both of us in the same night. Yeah.
He doesn't want to have a double homicide on us.
Yes. So I'm glad you're here to help protect each other.
Gombe.
I'm going to sanitize this microphone when this is over. Oh man, that one.
That one hit the stomach, or that one hit the chest. That one.
Oh man,
It's like Beijing heartburn.
Baijiu.
Hyper.
Like Baijiu.
Baijiu.
Bye,
Like-
Joe.
Baijiu. Oh.
Yum.
Ooh. Man.
It's not. I tell you, it's overreacting slightly. Okay, because it is very
To me, it's
smooth. It's very crisp. It's
but it has
not
an
overly
aftertaste
strong though.
that
That
sits at the
aftertaste
back
sits
of your
there,
throat. Like that is so distinct.
It's like it wants to hold on from not going down.
Yes. Jeez. Oh man. Oh.
I knew it would happen to one of you.
Oh.
That scary brown bottle.
It's it's not, again, it's not harsh.
Oh, I got one. Oh.
It's, oh god, there it goes again.
Do you have a bunch of Chinese men burping at the table the entire time?
Yeah, for the most part.
Oh,
And women.
and women. Yeah.
So it's not harsh by any stretch of me. And it, you know, it makes different flavor profile. But how people would look at that bottle with the dead snake in it, but then would drink it and go, "Oh, I expected so much worse because there's a snake in this."
Right.
And it had a smoother, sweet vibe.
Right. That was much more cinnamony kind of
than this,
spice.
but it wasn't harsh.
Right.
This isn't harsh. It's just I don't know how to describe it. It is a flavor that catches the back of my throat, and it is kind of medicine-y and herbally. It's like if you mix cough syrup and a gin, maybe. Yeah, gin's got that. I don't.
I'm not a big
Yeah,
gin
like
fan,
a,
but
like
yeah.
a real dry gin.
Real,
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, man. Well,
All the shit I learned in China.
whew. Well, thank you for the lesson. I feel like I've learned a lot. Ooh, it does not go down smooth, which leads us to Manchester United.
Would you like to read the first headline, Blake?
Who does? Well, you know.
I mean, if you want, I can read it. I technically wrote the content.
Well, it is. It is. If you would like to read that, it is the holidays. It's Halloween, so I feel like it's time for your spooky stories. Now that you guys are live in here in person, you can see how much the stupid board makes me
It
happy.
is beautiful though. It has colors everywhere.
It's like a Christmas tree.
but better.
Yeah.
But it can do a lot more things.
Ooh.
So great.
Okay, Premier League. We're week 9. Most leagues across the greater
I
Europe
love he
area.
says, I'm going to read the headline, but he starts to a monologue first.
100%. We're doing the top 4 headlines from around the Premier League as a top 4 is what you need to get into Champions League. One of these teams will probably get into Champions League. The other, we're not so sure of. Liverpool thrash Manchester United at Old Trafford behind a quick start and a Mohamed Salah hat trick to help put the ass-kicking charity on top for Liverpool.
The ass kicking cherry.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
It was.
Mhm.
When you have a fourth in extra time before the half go in, I mean, 3 already looked, but that was like, it all just,
It was
the air.
It was something that I was in Boston and joined the Boston Reds at the Greatest Bar. That's what the bar was called, the Greatest Bar. But it was full of chants, united prior to first goal went in. Right, you heard some still chants. Second goal went in, like one dude's chanting. Third goal went in, everybody was just like, "Where the hell's the bartender?" I just wanted to like it.
And then on the fourth one,
Get out! Get out!
they'll never get old to me.
No, I appreciate you putting that on that nice board there. But it's
I got to get the Jose Mourinho at that 23rd minute, the 29th minute. Yeah.
But in all honesty, Liverpool just whooped the shit out of Man United. I mean, they in every aspect of the game, every single aspect of the game, from the pace they had, from the formation they had, from how they were set up, to defensively, to potency on offense, to runs into the box, to strength, to smart, whatever you can name, it was a complete ass kicking, and not at whatever Liverpool stadium is called. I can't remember off the top of my head now, but not there at Old Trafford in front
not
of
at Anfield.
Thank you. I cannot think of that. In 4 of those goals, by the way, the Man United supporter end, where they were all scored. The Stretford end, 4 of them in there, and they weren't. You can sit there and say, okay, one of the goals had a fortunate bounce. The one off to, off Maguire that bounced. Okay, unfortunate bounce, but
The rest were just.
But there wasn't a bad ref call on any of them. There wasn't they just got absolutely whooped by a team that's firing on all cylinders. But it's not like it's a one-off for them. They haven't lost a game yet this year in the league. Mohamed Salah is, I don't think anybody can say, not the best player in the world at this time. I'm wearing a CR7 shirt from back when United were good. I think him and Messi will go down as probably the top 2 of the tops to ever play the game. Top 5. Is Mohamed Salah there yet? No. But
Got a chance to be there, though.
At this moment, he's making a good argument to, if he continues doing this, which over the past few years he has, he is scored a wonderful hat trick, all very well taken goals, a little sneaky chip on his on the 5th, over De Gea, and I got a burp too.
Man, that stuff just hits.
Absolutely brutal. And what I can say is, I watched on Peacock now. They have a Premier League channel. I don't know if you guys checked that out, but a lot of Premier League shows that break down games, headlines. It's an awesome channel, and I wanted to watch it not to relive the pain, but to see where and how. And they did a fantastic tactical session on 2 of the goals, and how small things in the game allowed Liverpool to break and score with such just killer instinct. And one of the common things they showed was, you think of a back 4, right? A straight line. Left back, 2 center backs, and a right back. On every single goal, there was no defiant back 4. There was like the right backs, up here. Then you draw a line backwards. There's a center back. Then you draw a line a little bit up. There's the other center back. Then you draw a line. It looked like a business eating line chart that showed ups and downs for the year. It was so dysfunctional. And on the first goal especially, there was something that one of the pundits said. I don't remember who, Don Hutchison maybe, or somebody, that said, small things such as Greenwood out on the right wing, he went up and towards who's on that right? Robertson. He has no reason to go up to him. He's not going to kill you from his own half. nor are you going to get to that ball and close him down to win that ball.
You know what that looked
so
like?
then why not go towards, I don't know who's on that wing for them, but why not go towards whoever was on that wing and close him down to keep them from breaking fast?
Yeah.
That's what but that was something that.
You know what it looked like? It looked like when 4 people have a controller each and play FIFA on the same team,
Right.
and they're not paying it. They are
No
not paying
organization.
attention to position.
Yep.
They're literally they all get switched to the back line, and they all just wherever they are doesn't matter. They all just press toward the ball.
Yeah.
Right. And just it's like it's the mess of it. That is it looked like completely.
Exactly. And what that shows, and I mean, I've been a supporter of Ole and think, you got to give time. You can't just fire here and there, and you can't do that. But this match, he was 100% out coached in this game.
What did you think about his? I don't know if these are fair. I was like the judge his after game conversation, but like, did you watch his interview?
Oh, I did. I mean, listen, you're not going to get anything that's not going to be honest from him.
He doesn't throw people under the bus. He doesn't pull Jose Mourinho.
No. But
he owns it.
Here's something that was telling. When I had gotten to the bar in Boston and sat there and the United fans, they had a one of those shots that NBC does of showing the managers on the side of the pitch, but before the game starts. I turned to a guy that I met and I said, "Wow, he looks terrible. Looks like he hasn't slept in weeks. Bags under his eyes, and Ole just looked beaten
He looked
down.
shell shocked during that interview.
But this is before the game. He looked rough before the game.
Yeah,
and I think Ole's he will always be a club legend despite what happens here. But does he have the tactical knowledge to compete with the likes of Klopp, Guardiola, Tuchel? That's what a lot of reports today that he could be sacked. There's reports that he could be sacked by the end of today. Obviously, England is 5 hours ahead of time, so that didn't occur. Yeah. But that first contact was made to Antonio Conte to come in instead.
Yeah, that rumor's been going out, but then a couple of people have also said that was an absolute rumor. And,
yeah. Now, I don't know if you make a move now. Do you give it time? But
it's not a Conte team. I'll say that.
It's what we're doing right now is what Arsenal have done for a while in trying to play 2-0 down. Every game. We're 2-0 down earlier in the week in the Champions League to
it's cool to come
Atlanta.
back.
It's cool to come back, whatever. But how many times are you going to start down? So there wasn't, oddly enough, there wasn't a panic when Liverpool scored 2 fairly quick. It was like, all right, well, we'll come out in the second half. We'll have a little bit better.
Normal.
Third goal went in. And as you said, just took the air out of everything.
Yeah.
Fourth, right before half. You don't ever want to concede right before half.
Done.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean,
that's okay. They brought in Pogba right after the half. And
100% red.
Yeah.
I don't think definitely. You can. I mean, I know we've had some chats going back on various reds here and there. I think the decisions were absolutely spot on the entire game. Even with the Ronaldo just card. At first glance, the guy that I was with said that's a red. When you watch it back, is it petty from him? Absolutely. He had, he frustrated getting killed at home. He loves the club as much as anybody. He takes a kick out, but he knows what he's kicking at and where he's kicking, and he kicked the ball. Now, was the ball up against like the midsection to crotch of the player on the ground? Yes.
Yeah.
It was petulant. It was worthy of a card, but not a red. He could have easily kicked that person in the stomach, face, wherever, but knew what he was doing. So I thought it was a very good call there.
But if it had gone to the red, you probably would.
It would have been hard to overturn it. But
yes, yeah.
But on the replay, it was no contact was made to the player on the ground. It just it was petulant. He shouldn't have had that extra kick at the ball. That was a frustrating moment when he got the card. He knew it. He didn't argue. He just went away. The Pogba one, I think that is an example of how VAR worked perfectly. The yellow card was given. I don't remember who the ref was, had it in his ear to go over and check it. He ran the box, went over, saw it. Whether you're looking at that in slow time or multiple angles, he went over the ball, studs to the shin. It's in nowadays game, it's a red. Would Roy Keane have gotten away with maybe a yellow back in the day? Probably. But in today's game?
No way.
No.
Yeah.
No. And whether that shows petulance from Pogba being sat the last 2 games and coming in as a sub or whatever is going on back of house, possibly. But why Ole didn't go with a back 5 like he did last year when we got a 1-1 draw, that you protect your back 5, you kind of calm their wingers and wingbacks back a little bit, and you only counterattack with the front 3 that's there. You basically pack in with the back 5 and the 2 people that sit in front of them.
And with how Liverpool's been playing, a draw would have been delightful.
Tactically inept from Solskjaer.
He did say, like, oh, you're home at Stratford, you want to go for it. I was like,
not against that team.
Do you think he was just in any way slightly overconfident with the fact that CR7 is there and that guy, seems to find a way to get goals scored when you need it?
No, I don't think so. I think what Ole's used to and what Sir Alex in the stands used to is that open, we're going to play our style and only our style. And that free, fast pace, counter break quickly, score goals.
I don't think you can just do that in today's Premier League. You got to adjust.
You can if you have
depending
teams,
on who you're playing.
Right. If you have a team like Liverpool, 100%, you can play that way with anybody in the world. If you are Pep style playing with a false 9, you can play that way with anybody in the world. And you maybe get beat here or there, but if you're not a team that is extremely potent and organized in that, then you're going to be screwed. And while Mohamed Salah is so very good, the best player on that team, that is the complete linchpin, and you saw what happened when that pin was pulled last year. If Virgil van Dijk's not on the field for Liverpool, that game could be entirely different, because he is a game changer for them.
Well, and he makes
them a champion.
His other partners to his left and right,
yeah, there was
even better.
The new signing they had at center back started, I think, the first game with him back there.
He looked amazing.
Not Gomez, looked amazing. Now, United had some chances, and had they put that one away in like the 4th minute that Bruno I think sailed, but do I think the result would have been any different? No, it might have been like several years back when United beat Arsenal, 8-2. It might have been a 5-2 or whatnot. That game could have easily been 10-0. Liverpool in the second half definitely pulled off the
they don't want injuries.
They don't want injuries. They don't want that. They already had somebody go out in injuries because of the tackle. They don't want petulance. I think Klopp's just too classy of a manager to really put the foot down and try to further embarrass. Like, the embarrassment's already been done.
Yeah,
you don't want to rub somebody's nose, in it. And I think that was very well played by them. But what Virgil van Dijk does, he allows Liverpool to play their game. And what I mean by that is, when you have that security blanket of a lockdown, shutdown defender back there, no matter whoever his partner is, what you allow is your 2 fullbacks that aren't defensively minded as much as they are offensively minded. Robertson and Trent, Alexander-Arnold are more offensive than they are anything. It allows them to push forward, so that adds additional pressure to the wingers of United, which did not cover them whatsoever.
Yeah,
Greenwood did not cover him. Rashford did better than Greenwood, but did not cover those fullbacks and contain them. They just passed one ball by him, and now there's a break on.
And what's the signing? I'm drawing a blank. There was like the big deal signing. You guys aren't even playing right now.
Varane's on an injury. Sancho?
Sancho.
He hasn't been off to a good start whatsoever, and I don't think he would have made a difference in this game.
I just mean, but it's just like...
He hasn't...
It seems like, to be honest, they wanted to take him off the market more than they wanted to play him.
To use him.
He matched what Ole's trying to build with a young, like English-based team.
If Jose had been there, he would have come in, and then he would have loaned him out to somebody.
Yeah, right.
But
that's what would have happened.
you have Greenwood there. He's a promising young right midfielder. That's what Sancho plays. So now you're playing Sancho on left mid, which he usually is not, but now you have Marcus Rashford, who's still young, coming back from injury on left mid. So like now you have depth, but now you have somebody that was thriving at Dortmund just sitting on the bench the entire time. Now it's nice to have depth in the various tournaments you have, but I don't.
How long's he
I like
sit?
Sancho, but it wasn't a necessary signing. Ronaldo's not the problem, but real quick, going back to Liverpool, how important that is to push those two backs forward, then allows Salah, Mane, Firmino, Jota.
Opens the door.
It allows them to play freely, right? Mm-hmm. And what you saw last year when Van Dijk was out is those two backs, which I just said aren't the best defensively, having to play defensive to cover for the center backs because Van Dijk's not there. And then that does is pin your Mane's and Salah's back more and not going forward as much because now they're having to help out on the defensive side. So now there's not a potent all numbers attacking you from the wings and just passing it galore.
So I want to see that Liverpool that played this weekend play against the Chelsea that played this weekend. It's to be a hell of a match.
Didn't we see that? Didn't we see that though? Or what? No, that was the Man City and Liverpool match. That was 3-3, and that was a
when
fun
does
one just
Chelsea
before the break.
and Liverpool hit? Because that should be.
I could have sworn they already played. Did they not?
Let me check.
That doesn't ring a bell. I didn't think they'd played each other yet.
I thought they drew 1-1 or something.
I just feel like they're even, but
because I think we only lost to Man City so far in the league.
Mm-hmm. That was a 1-0 game.
Yeah. Hold on.
Because right now, Liverpool and Chelsea look fantastic.
They're. I mean, you they're 1 and 2 in the table. You forget that. I mean, Chelsea's on 22 points with only one loss. Liverpool no losses. They're 6 and 3 with a plus 21, so one better than Chelsea, but only on 21 points. And it's Man City who sit in third, sneakily sit there in third, because with the performances of Liverpool and Chelsea this past weekend, you kind of forget that City 1-2 beat the fourth place team at the time in Brighton. 3-1, I think, or 4-1, and they're just without number 9.
But nobody's talking about them.
Nobody's really talking about them, and that's what Pep wants.
We did play Liverpool. We drew them 1-1 with 10 men.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That was the second half where
Reece James got sent off.
That's right,
double yellow.
That's right. Where do Manchester United go from here? What do they do? I mean, I don't know, but if they don't sack Ole and his staff and the team have to figure it out by Saturday at 12:30 p.m. on the East Coast because they play Tottenham. And Tottenham are in
Ole in was trending.
Sure
was so fast.
I did see something on Instagram that was it was a comparison to Frank Lampard and Ole, that as soon as they fired Frank, Chelsea go on to win the Champions League and don't concede goals anymore, and same players, right?
Yeah,
right. Very little has changed.
Right. So what that tactical ineptitude of what?
Now, I don't want to
both in terms of where they both brilliant players in their time, absolutely, but to manage a team and to not just motivate and have a nice person back there that smiles and hugs and whatnot, but to be able to tactically go up at to know what you have to play for each game, and have a clear strategy that not only
in a different world,
but the players know and they buy into.
In a different world, you guys had Pochettino, maybe.
I would love that right now.
Would you?
I would,
because I feel like with some of the best players, even though PSG is up top, he's struggling to get them to play together well.
I mean, right now the Conte is being talked. I mean, my ultimate would be if he's going to be replaced by anything.
Are rough.
Yes, they are.
I forget I had that drink, and then you have a burp. And you're like, nope.
You got two more coming.
There it is.
Two more. Only two.
Two because I got to do one. You got to do one. Yeah.
What? I thought we were done.
No. We started the second round. Got to finish the second round.
I got to finish it.
I'm almost done with my beer.
Ooh,
tough shit.
You better save that.
I'm not touching that beer anymore. I'm going to need that.
I'm smart. I planned ahead.
Oh, you sons of...
I'm right there with Ron.
Oh,
I paid attention during Ron's briefing.
sorry.
But
I think my brain already got melted from that.
you're looking at those top three. But to take us into the second headline, look who's in fourth right now.
Sorry, before we do that, before we go there, one thing that talking about Pochettino, there was this really great article about PSG coaches. And the reason I say this is because obviously Pochettino, right? So many managers of PSG complain that not only are they managers, but they're also managers of players, entourages, and families.
Babysitters.
And
right?
didn't Tuchel say the same thing when he was there?
Mhm. And it's interesting because so many managers complain about that with the likes of Neymar and Mbappe and Griezmann and all those folks that are there, right? So I wonder if that leads to some of the hardship that PSG managers have, that, and then does that spiral into other teams, right? Like, are there other distractions for Solskjaer that he's having to deal with that are not necessarily all manager details?
Oh, I'm sure.
Right.
I'm sure. And you're dealing with the new age of players, and there was no better people manager than Sir Alex was to know that you can't treat every player the same.
Right.
But Roy Keane has to have a little bit different treatment, and Eric Cantona has to have a little bit better treatment. And I got to talk differently to Giggs, and I got to talk to Scholes, and differently, so on and so forth. Now, I think he was ahead of his time on that. I think that was absolutely brilliant. Wenger had that to a certain extent. I think Wenger was more of a tactician and was able to set his team up and know what pieces he needed in his team to make that, the other team. Where Sir Alex went off a lot of just people management. Yes, he had tactics. Yes, he learned. In modern day's time, he wouldn't even be able to get anywhere near where he would, because he would have been sacked a few games out, because his start of his United run was very rough. Now, Solskjaer's a few years in now, so you can't say that about him. But that people manager is, you have to be able to manage everybody different,
right?
But different but fair. I can only speak from experience in the professions that I've had, and I'm sure you both know this, being in the entertainment field. How I talk to a theatrical performer is different how I would talk to a dancer, or how I would talk to a improv on the street,
right? Musician, whatever.
Right,
like you're going to get
exactly.
right.
You now, but you're not telling them all different things and making that team and everybody's mindset of the policies and everything else that goes on completely out there. You're sharing the same info, but you may have to have a little bit of soft hands to kind of just explain something differently in a different way to get that same point across. And that's what I think, some of the best in the world have done over the time. And I could see that being a complaint from PSG. And does Solskjaer have the people aspect to it? I think he does. But at the same point, that people aspect gets lost, especially in the players' minds, if they're not being set up the right way, or if they're not being told the right tactics for a game plan.
Right.
You lose that side of things, because now you're like, well, he's setting us up wrong, and no matter what it is we do.
Right. How long is someone like CR7 going to put up with that? And then the last thing before we, move on is it Solskjaer out, Ted Lasso in? Because, he's got the people person down.
I would love it. No, I would love it.
That is the other thing. I know we always say that frequently when I say, well, who are you going to get? I am not sure right now who.
The two names that are jobless that have been tossed around are Zidane. Look what he did at Madrid. Look what he did with a Ronaldo-based team. I think the problem is, and what they've been saying, doesn't speak English all that great. Now, you do have some French players in there, and I'm sure they'll get by and they'll figure it out. And Antonio Conte, who apparently United made first contact to.
But who would the English rather have? A French player or a French manager, or
I think
any other manager?
They want somebody that can win. That's really
I think at this point they don't care.
It's really all.
They'd probably
a lot of
behind.
fans don't care. I'm kind of on the box. I will say this game has me 70-30 Ole out just because of how
So,
absolutely tactically
but here's the
inept he
problem,
was going into
bro.
this game.
Here's the problem. You know what I'm going to say. What?
Trust the process?
Well, not trust the process.
No, that's not what's coming.
Here's the problem, bud. Welcome to next weekend when you beat the Spurs 3-1.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then it extends this
Yep.
just a bit further.
Not wrong.
They fire Nuno, hire back Pochettino, and then you guys hire Nuno when they fire Ole 8 games later.
Hell,
And then you lost the bet.
but you're not
And-
wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're yeah.
Because
You're
the
not
problem
wrong.
is he isn't going to, for that to happen, I feel like he's got to lose out. He needs to lose out bad on the next couple. But I could see him going because right
You're
now
right.
Tottenham has not been playing
that way.
great.
No.
And they could go in and have a big game at Tottenham, or might be at I'm not sure if it's at Man U, but regardless, and that will extend it just a little bit longer.
You're 100% correct. It's been that way the entire time, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we got second in the Premier League last year. It's not like he did a bad job. He got second in a league full of the same teams that we're talking about, with not too many differences. You know, you can say Liverpool's best signing this summer wasn't actually a signing; it was just getting Van Dijk back.
Yeah.
Right. But you get knocked out of the Chupacabra Cup, yet you are in one half, bottom of the table in the Champions League of your group you're in. But by the end of the next half, you're top of the table in the Champions League group
After
you're
losing
in.
to the
Right.
I got ready to say losing to
right.
the Lost Boys, but that's a vampire movie.
No, but you were right. But it's
Young boys.
The young
You're
boys.
right. It's that roller coaster of when he's in and out. And honestly, I don't think the only reason if he makes it till Saturday, which I'm on the fence that he'll even make it
think
that
he will.
far. But if he makes it to Saturday, if one goal goes in prior to a United goal going in, it's so. You really can't go down from a 5-0 thrashing unless Tottenham come out and win 10-0. And okay, then you can say
I think 3-0 would do it. To be perfectly frank.
I think a 1-0 lackluster
The
performance.
problem is
but-
though, who cares? How does this affect Blake? And that's the problem with this next match. I kind of want you to beat Tottenham because I just need Arsenal to end the season above Tottenham. But then also I need to
We'll get
win
to
my
Arsenal.
bet,
yeah.
which was obviously
Yep.
Solskjaer being canned before Arteta.
Yeah.
So I just don't know how to pull for this next game because I feel like a draw just limps it along.
Right.
I need, and I can't tell which one I want most. I mean, if Spurs lose, my Arsenal side will always be happy.
Mhm.
But and by
It's
the
the
way,
head of two evils.
this is a good like is there a good like there's not a good sound for like something exciting. I gotta add that in like a drum roll. I need a drum roll. I'll have one of these. But it's kind of that. Our bet has to be amended. Unless between now and then I can find Moo Thunder.
Oh god.
But
here
I
we go.
do have a cookie puss.
I would much rather do that. I'm fine. I agree.
Oh, see, nope, you said it too quick. So
Oh,
I'm
God.
still on the search for a Moo Thunder. I do have a red snapper from Butternut Brewing. Yeah,
You gonna mix that with ice cream?
yeah. So just I got to be on the lookout. I got to be on the lookout for a little bit of,
I
of Moo Thunder.
I tell you, it is crazy how a matter of a few games and weeks can change.
You made the most
Premier League.
confident bet
Oh, I did.
about
I was-
relegation Arsenal and gonna get canned first, and then literally since that bet, a slide.
So do you want to? So do you want to? For the time, we'll come back to two. But do you want to read the third headline?
Don't look now, but Arsenal are exactly middle of the table, tied on points with United, Everton, and Leicester City. Have Arsenal finally turned the corner? And to be honest, there was a moment I thought, is Liverpool going to make Arsenal jump Man United? Because when's the scoring going to stop? Because like it was like, well, there's like a 7-goal differential between them. Then all of a sudden it was like 2 or 3.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're United are somehow a plus
Plus
one
one.
still, and Arsenal are -3. So it was getting there. It could
was
have
like-
easily switched
I was
quickly.
like,
Yeah.
man, this is bonkers.
Which is crazy because Tottenham, which is what, 3-4 places above Arsenal, they're at a -4 goal differential.
Yeah,
Well,
but,
it was-
but they're only 1 point ahead.
It's crazy.
Tottenham also have not drawn a game this year. They've lost 4-1, and Arsenal have hung on with two draws. I mean, even going back to the Crystal Palace game,
the 95th minute draw.
You guys didn't deserve that draw, but
they haven't done that in a while. But you know what's great?
Snuck it out.
Lacazette did that. Arteta
Why
said,
doesn't he play more?
You know what?
I've been saying he's been the best number 9.
Well, but he made a couple of changes. He started him, and Odegaard sat, and Partey came in. Partey scored.
He's not a goal scorer, but he
came in and scored. Like it was nice to see the team shake up a little differently and still play well. So who cares if the points are coming? That's all that need to happen.
I don't think Arsenal turned
Trust
corner
the process.
Yeah. I was saying that a lot on Sunday.
Trust the process.
Trust the
process.
I don't think Arsenal have turned the corner. Ron, I don't know what you think. I think it's
not yet.
It's a little bit of the covering.
They're in third gear.
The cracks.
They're about to shift into fourth.
Their form's certainly better. They were at the bottom of the table the last time we did the pod, and that was after game 4 or 5. Look at what 4 games does. Brings them from last to 10th. So who knows what the hell the next 10 games are gonna hold.
Well, their next, let's see, that's EFL Cup. They have Leicester next,
which they're on a nice run of form.
Yeah,
but
they're
beatable.
super.
That should be an interesting game.
It's 9 and 10 in the table. Yeah,
I predict some. I predict that to be a
1-1 draw,
1-1 or 2-2. Like I could see a few goals getting slung out in that one.
So your next 6 games: Leicester, Watford, Liverpool, Newcastle, Man United, Everton.
Well, I mean,
that's not an easy schedule.
Well, it's only one good team in
Arsenal will beat Man United, Leicester, and Liverpool, but lose to Watford.
But when you're a completely inconsistent team that has no identity or organization, you could lose any of those games.
I mean, you keep saying that, but all Ferris just said was, I don't know, last 4 or 5 games, that's looking a little consistent.
But that can go the opposite way for you guys too. Like it's how fast it turned for, now United really haven't had that stiff of a competition, up until this point. And Liverpool's the first kind of A class that they've played, and they were A classed out of the freaking stadium of their own stadium. I mean, by like the time that 4th or 5th goal went in, there was massive flood of people out of Old Trafford,
just leaving.
I've never seen that before from all the years that I've been a United fan. And there's been some bad losses over the years. You think like what last year Tottenham beat 6-1, and so it's
what if you guys lose 6-1? But
it's not uncommon, right? It happens every few years, and every few times maybe it takes that being punched, kicked, pulled by the nuts to realize, okay, we're not the greatest thing since sliced bread. Maybe I need the teammate next to me, and I might have 1 million follows on Instagram, but I need to play as a, maybe it takes this. Who's to say what the players, how they're reacting to it. Now, do I think any of them should have collected a check on Saturday? No. And I'd be surprised if some of them actually accepted a check. And I think a lot of them want to be with United, but it's
Ronaldo definitely signed a check and cashed it.
It makes he does what the Terragun commercials. How much did he get paid for that?
Oh yeah, and the E-stim belt.
The E-stim belt, yeah. And Ronaldo's not the problem. He's not. He's not doing as many
I will argue
pullovers
this.
with his legs.
He's
scoring
not
goals.
the problem.
No,
but for your pay for him on a like weekly basis,
he's not sales alone.
He's not the answer either, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but we needed a number 9 that can score goals. He's done that.
Yeah,
he's not doing leg over after leg over. He's not hogging the ball. He's not the problem. We are tactically and defensively inept.
Yeah, you have no back line.
Well, we do. We actually have some very talented. I mean, Shaw and Maguire had some of the best Euros played, but Shaw came out and said, "We're not at our best. I'm not at my best."
He's not. Yeah,
Maguire has looked. The worst 3 games that he's played for United have been the first half of the Atalanta game, the game against Leicester, and the game Blake just reached for a beer. Went, oh crap! I only have a little bit left. We have 2 more of these shots to go. Let me just choose water.
I'm just grabbing a little water bottle.
No, but I mean, going back to Arsenal real quick, I think if Arteta, who still pulls off a great Bond villain, God, he can dress.
Yeah, he
sharply.
totally does.
I think what Arsenal may
God,
have
just
now
him taking the top off that liquor bottle is already making my liver quiver.
is as much as I personally give shit to Arsenal for the short sleeve keepers.
Ramsdale was a good choice.
But no, he has
Tomiyasu, you guys
Tomiyasu
told you that guy was good.
He's a great, he's a defensive right back and
A tall one too, but he is.
he he's been good. I think another center back or two would be helpful, but you aren't giving up as any shots, so therefore the goalie, who's it? Not Sam Johnson. Who is it?
Ramsdale.
Yeah. Is not having to face,
Oh, and another thing I like about him too, difference between him and Leno.
The short sleeves are like
he comes. No, when there's a mistake on that back line, even like it gets cleared, he hauls up that back line and chews them out. If he's, and I'm like, thank God, like
somebody holding him accountable.
Like that, and he did that from the beginning. He had barely the ink was still wet on his contract, and that was just one of those things that had just been missing out of the club. Like, the dude's there to work, and that's what he looks like, and that's how he comes across. And you know what? Hey, he caught a lot of crap for like 20 million for this dude. So maybe, I mean, I don't know. Maybe that was a motivator to be like, all right, I'll show you guys. Although I'm pretty sure as the next couple seasons go by, you're going to find out people that complain about that money. I think that's just the new cost of doing business. I don't think that's a crazy fee. Like look at what the English players were getting because they were English. They had like a I think
the English market gets
I think it's just crazy. But I'm just happy he seems to be passionate and holds those guys accountable. And some of them are young, it's so that it helps.
White, and some of them are
so. But I really like Tomiyasu.
Rob Holding, I think, is only 27, but looks 47.
This is true. This is true. And Jack Wilshere was there training, not for Arsenal, but something else. Yeah, but he was there hanging out and training.
Yeah.
You think Ron forgot he poured those?
No.
Nope.
I think he fully remembers.
I'm just letting it.
I'm
letting it breathe.
That this is a note from Hogwarts.
Yeah, the top of the liquor box is very swanky.
It's very like Hogwarts-esque, but I'm like, oh no, this is the box that the demon liquor.
That is a Horcrux, is what that is.
Well done. Yes.
That is Voldemort's
soul.
Well done. Is in that thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Shall we do this before we move on to the?
Whose turn is it?
This is the last one, right?
Mine.
No. Second to last.
Oh my God, I don't have enough beer.
Blake, despite you making me drink terrible beers and giving me so much crap, I appreciate you as a friend and love the banter that we hold.
Amen. Banter Brothers.
The Banter Brothers. Ron, you are elegantly quiet during Chelsea Supreme during this time, and I thank you for not being a complete. I say complete, but it is great to have you back, and it is a pleasure to spend the night with you.
I love that you didn't put Chelsea in a headline. I was very shocked at that.
Well, because they won 7-0 against the bottom team. Like, everybody knows they're good right now. Like,
not much to talk about.
But not really.
But
they played well.
Good.
Up with Chelsea. Everybody else. Gumbe.
Okay, you don't let it sit. I know why there's a chaser. I just wanted to let it sit for a second. Okay, I gotta stop with the beer because we got one more going. I gotta have that last swig. West Ham are in fourth.
Man.
Insanity.
Man, no, there's some root flavor on this that's killing me, man. It sits at the top of my palate, like on the soft palate. Woof. Okay. West Ham. They beat Spurs, and they're in the top 4. David Moyes. Guys, that's your new Man United coach.
Yeah, well, we've been through him before, haven't we?
Hey, maybe give him a chance. Are they for real?
Who? The Hammers?
Yeah.
I do, but I don't think they are potent enough to stay in that top 4. Top 6? Maybe, yeah.
I don't know. I disagree only from this. Not for them, but I think I think 4, 5, and 6 can shift a lot right up to that last day.
Oh yeah.
So
100%.
And that's kind of how they even got into Europe last year. It was kind of right toward the end, like it was secured, right? But I could still see them doing it. Nothing above 4th. It would have to be that sort of very close.
I think that top 3 is going to be that top 3. The placement may change.
Oh, but, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Man United.
Whoever's that top 3 is pretty much there.
I agree with that because I just. Manchester City. I mean, not
feel
Man
it okay?
United. Whew. Oh man.
Do you know who their signing has been so far?
City,
No,
West Ham.
the Hammers.
Who dat?
Ron, do you know who it is? You should know who it is.
Oh, Zuma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Zuma.
yeah. Zuma.
He's been fantastic. He's been a fan favorite.
He works hard.
He works hard. He's been a solid defender. I think McKellen. I don't think I think Mikel Antonio is the linchpin for them. If he's in the side, he offers them what they want. He offers them a threat to the other team's defense. Without him in there,
and what's his position?
Who's scoring goals? Whatever the he wants.
Exactly. Exactly.
Whatever he wants with awesome celebrations at the end.
He did the Matrix this past weekend.
Yeah.
That was so fun.
He grabbed a life size of himself before.
Wasn't his interview? He was like, well, I'm not really here to score. I'm here to stop this. But then, I score. So I had this idea. Like
Remember, he started off as a right winger, I think.
So
and he's
does he
a center
stay
forward
at West Ham, or is some other big club going to snatch him?
He stays. I don't see where he goes.
Exactly. Because of that, he fits perfectly at a West Ham or maybe like an Everton or something. But like
he's a bigger, stronger, faster Danny Ings. Like when Danny Ings went to Liverpool, you never heard of him. But when Danny Ings played for Southampton and now at Aston Villa, he scores goals.
Yeah.
Like there's a certain I don't see him in any...
He can just be the hero there and have a great career.
Yeah.
I agree completely.
Yeah.
You can also tell that there's a lot of harmony in the team. There's a lot of fun in the team, right? We say this a lot when teams that are kind of on a roll, and if they're having fun, they're doing well.
They're being quietly excellent.
And
you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can see that they, Declan Rice,
yes,
right, is just
he might actually be the pin to it all. Yeah,
if they can,
You're
that
right.
is the tough one. If they can hold on to,
yeah,
because like
English talent that strong.
Talk about Man United needing the backline help, whatever.
God.
People are going to Throw money.
Had we signed Declan Rice opposed to Sancho, I think we'd be a lot better off right now.
You are correct. I wholeheartedly believe. I think West Ham though, they're very. You know what they kind of remind me of? I don't think they'll win the league, but they kind of have that Leicester vibe from Leicester's run where they just were enjoying the heck out of what they were doing.
Yeah.
And they were a delight to watch, And
I think David Moyes has done a lot to build their confidence. He plays a good strategic match, but he does it with this kind of light finesse. It's not like he's standing on the sidelines of the pitch in the manager's box, screaming at players to do this, do that. He's
too smooth for that.
Yeah, he's just got this very relaxed vibe, letting everyone contribute and setting them up for success. And that seems to have some sort of pressure taken off of them where they can just go out and play the game and have a good time.
Yeah. Moyes got the short end of the stick coming to United after one of the greatest to ever sit in the box.
It did not matter who was going to slot in there.
No. The talent wasn't there. Everything was wrong there, and he really did get the short end of the stick there. But what a resilient, strong, mentally minded man. Because I think he went to Spain afterwards, maybe. Kind of bombed out there, then went to the Scottish Premiership and did very well with Celtic, and then came back to the Premier League and is doing very well with West Ham. And yeah, Ron, I agree. You can see why he keeps getting jobs and why he has been successful in those jobs. Why he was, manager of Everton for years and brought them to Europe and various things. West Ham's playing in Europe this year. I like the West Ham team.
But they're in Europa, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
I like the West Ham team. I just don't think they have enough potency to be in the top 4.
But I tell you what, I think they have a team that can have a good run in the Europa. Could you imagine if they won the Europa?
In Europa, I think they're a good team to cause anybody in the top 6 trouble.
Yeah.
You no longer push them over as a mid-table team that you can. You are now a little bit hesitant, a little bit of.
Are we officially at this part? Speaking of like being able to cause trouble, has Tottenham now lost to every London team? Have they lost to Brentford
this year?
Have they?
Didn't know if they played Chelsea yet.
They didn't play Chelsea
yet.
Okay, when that happens,
have they played Arsenal yet? Oh yeah, you guys smashed them that one.
Yeah, I just like, man, they're really trouble with these London clubs. They lose to Crystal Palace. Oh, they lost to Crystal Palace 3-0. They were having like
you're right.
Like a lot of trouble. And Brentford, right, is in the London.
I think they played Brentford. Did they play Brentford?
Looking it up.
Ron, on your schwanky iPad. A little bit, but I just know they. I mean, as an addendum on this, because you didn't really mention the Spurs, but like,
not to keep it short.
But yeah, they've been having a struggle bus against London clubs right now.
Yeah, but they're starting to kind of. I mean, they're. I think -4, as we said, and I still they're sitting in 15th and 6th place. I think they're starting to turn it around a little bit.
So they, in the past couple of weeks. Sorry, go ahead.
They're turning it around?
Tottenham?
Yeah, I think so.
What?
Kind of.
Like,
kind of.
I think. Ron, well, there you go, Ron. Go
How
ahead.
do you mean in the bus they've turned around and?
I don't know.
It's the Baijo.
As I thought about it more, I'm like, I don't really have the Baijo. It's the Baijo talking. I don't really have any more backing on that.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
You shouldn't.
I think I'm more just fearful that they're going to trounce United 3 or 4-0 on the weekend.
Because they've only
Kane's finally scored. That's a positive.
Finally, yeah. They've only beaten Aston Villa and Newcastle in recent games. They lost to Arsenal. They drew with the no, that's EFL Cup. Sorry, they lost to Chelsea 3-0.
Oh, so they did right. They did play Chelsea. That's right.
They lost to Crystal Palace 3-0.
Arsenal was 3-1.
Well, I mean, they're 5 wins, 0 draws, and 4 losses. So they've been an up and down team. So yeah. I'll turn the bus around on my statement, and they're Tottenham.
I think Nuno is.
I like Nuno as coach, though. I do.
I do think he is on a quicker chopping block than a lot. I won't make any bets there, but
in their past 5 games, lost 3, won 2. So I don't know. You can call it turning around.
I don't really have any backing with that statement.
It's more like
turning around and going driving back out of the stadium. Yes.
Yeah, it's more like they turn the bus around.
And then, like you said, you're like, Kane scored. Oh my God, that's like the first goal. Yeah.
I did one of those fantasy drafts where it was like the American football style with the things, and like Kane was my first, and I'm like, I'm waiting for you to score here, buddy. Come on.
Right.
It takes
do anything.
Holy hell.
But, in his defense,
he's played a lot of football in the past year.
Yes.
He's also gotten completely jerked around in the off season.
Well, it's not what I'm doing though too.
It can't necessarily feel good that he's on this team that basically said, "Okay, we're going to keep you."
But it felt like a consolation.
Yeah. So you can't expect that Harry Kane's morale is like,
he's so
let's go win them.
He's tired, his morale.
You paid money for Grealish? You won't pay for. I mean.
And he just can't be feeling good right now for as good of a player as he is to be treated the way he was between those two matches.
That Facebook thing I shared with you guys, the comedian who's talking to Harry Kane. He's like, "Oh yeah, no, it's real good." He's, "What do you think about those? The team that was all the fans that were leaving early. Well, I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair. I tried to leave. Tottenham, no one would let me. So I don't think it's right. They get to leave."
That's pretty good.
But they have had the glorious teams of the Jacksonville Jaguars and Atlanta Falcons play in that stadium as of late.
That's talk about
and Miami Dolphins. Let me throw
jerseys,
them in there.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
They were swapping jerseys.
Yeah.
Should have just.
That's too funny. But I in some ways, I can see how he wouldn't be performing at his best right now because of
It's been weird.
the treatment he has seen, and as a result of what he tried to do to help himself.
And I don't think he's got a. While Nuno, I don't think he's a bad coach. I don't know that he's the kind of coach to pull. He's not a Klopp to like pull a dude out of that situation. I feel like so. I don't think Nuno's going to stay there. I think Nuno's got a career in the Premier League. I don't know that it's there.
Well, so if they finish in the top six, do you think he stays?
Yes.
I'm telling you guys, they're going to finish out of the top 6, but going to win that new stupid European thing that they're in. That's going to be they're going to finally get a trophy, and it's going to be something that somehow people like, you got a trophy. They had to invent a tournament for it. Like it's going to be almost annoying to them, their fans, that they want it.
They almost want to lose that.
Yeah, but that's what. Why? So win that, like get knocked out of like hit 7th or 8th, night, or get like back in that again. Like,
oh, too funny.
That's what's going to happen. Now, this brings us to, we're going to have to do our European wrap up fast.
Yeah,
but
and beer thing.
You have a beer.
You have a beer.
So do you want to get to that now?
Jesus.
No, because we got to finish the round of shots here.
Yeah.
Oh no,
we'll
do that at the end.
No, we might as well do that now and then cover the 4th topic, and then.
Or do you mean chase the last Baiju with his beer?
Yeah, at the very end of the show. This way it gives you a reprieve.
All right, so should we do my beer now? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
So do we want to have this last Premier League conversation and then do the European?
Last Premier League beer.
Okay. Because
I can usually fly through those.
You figure it out. I got to
every time.
Bladder of a 2-year-old.
Okay. Well, now I don't know whether to start.
I have a really tiny bladder.
Yeah. So when Ron goes, we can talk about what it feels like to actually have Ron back now. We've had some Baijiu, and don't wake up the kid. Killing me, Smalls.
Take those paper towels and soak up all of the Baijiu.
Don't do that.
Just like Ron did in his little government meetings.
I'm like, hey, wait. There's a kid across the hall. You got to remember. Wait, we're not remote anymore.
Yeah, I mean, Ron, I haven't seen the kids since kid's been walking, talking, and
Ron came in. Ron did visit a couple of days ago, so he came by and visited, and she didn't forget him at all. And then when she saw you today, she's like ready to play.
Huge little human being.
I know, man.
Fantastic.
And I don't know how many days she's like, let's go outside and play soccer ball.
Love it.
And that's not me trying.
And what was it? What were you playing today?
Hiya. She likes to play hiya. Dude, she's gonna be a little ladies Latan. She wants to take some karate and play some soccer.
Love it.
Are you kidding? That's a perfect.
She'll be playing soccer just till she's 45.
That is perfect.
Yeah.
You roll me up in a wheelchair to all those games. That's fine, man.
Absolutely.
That's fine. That's my baby that just got a red card, karate, kicking that dude in the head. That is
well worth it.
So worth it. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
When she was like, I like hiya and I like soccer ball, I was like, oh my gosh. You are Americans Latan. Let's do this.
As we have a framed picture of Zlatan up there trying to kick.
Well, I was very excited because we went to the Target and she was like, "Oh, this soccer ball, it's bigger. I've grown bigger." Because she had a little one. I went, "You have? Should we get you a new one?" Which, of course, like you probably shouldn't just when your kid says, "I want that, get it." But she's like, "I need a new soccer ball for me." Like, yeah, you do. Just get it.
So when you come back into this room, all you can smell is Baijiu.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It probably smells like
I have a terrible nose.
It smells like a Subway in Beijing, like 1 a.m. So this last one.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna discuss this. You're gonna get your beer prepped.
Yeah,
because I think there's a lot. I think there's a lot to talk about, but really,
we'll keep it short because it's a few weeks ago.
We can keep it short. So really, this is early. Well, hold on. You want to read the either one? Yeah, just so we can do a recap of the news.
Right. Earlier this month, a Saudi Arabia backed a £305 million takeover of Newcastle United was completed. The Premier League has approved the takeover after receiving legally binding assurances that the Saudi state would not control the club. Instead, the Public Investment Fund, sounds like a scandal, but anyways, which will provide 80% of the funds for the deal, is seen as a separate to the state. So essentially, it's a Saudi-backed public investment fund that works on a lot of the infrastructure and financially backs a lot of the country, but is not the actual, like Newcastle isn't technically
the next line
a country owned, right?
But the
Right. This is despite the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, being listed as the chairman of the PFI or PIF. It's like the president of the United States backing a public
Billy,
company.
don't
here
worry.
that's
This is not owned by the United States government.
right.
But as the president of the United States, I am actually going to be the CEO.
Well,
Right.
I mean,
Publicly
haven't we kind of
traded.
experienced that in the last
Yeah, a bit,
presidency?
yeah, true.
Right.
I kind of,
I mean, but
Granted, I think it's
thankfully he didn't buy like an NFL team, like the Washington Redskins or whatever they're called. Anyways,
but you know what?
We'll pyramid out of there.
If they were Jacksonville or Washington, they'd have taken the money. You're kidding?
100%. The sale went through after the deal passed the Premier League owners and directors test, whatever the hell that test is. A blind test. You just point to which one you think is good. I don't know what the hell that is. But the takeover does bring an end to Mike Ashley's 14-year spell as Newcastle United owner.
So here's my takeaway.
Well, and mind you, this deal was initially posed last year, put on hold, under review. Legally binding insurances and all this other stuff came in because the takeover, not only being state-owned, is very controversial in the human rights factor of what Saudi Arabia has been known for over the past few years.
So you have the confluences
Several
of
years.
this
Hundreds of years.
about to go through, and then everybody wanting Steve Bruce out and Newcastle United saying he wasn't the answer.
God, he got the roll end of the stick, didn't he?
Boy, did he.
Well, I mean, because here's the one thing I think I was listening to the two Robbies saying this, like, here's why it isn't fair. No, actually, I think this was not the two Robbies. It was the two Robbies podcast, but it was Tim Howard who said this. He shouldn't catch that much crap because what he's pulled off with what he has been amazing. This is the reverse of what you're talking about Ole, who actually has quite a lot of good players that aren't together. Newcastle they have a couple of okay players.
Callum Wilson?
It's like their best. And he has them punching above the weight of where they are. Does that mean they're winning? No, but like
Keeps them in the Premier League.
Alex Ferguson ain't going to make that happen. You know what I mean? Like with that club. So there's that. So I'm watching and I'm hearing all the, the bit back and forth and so and so. And I'm thinking, well, money will walk when this is all said and done. However, I didn't have a visceral reaction during the initial, oh my gosh, is it going to happen? Oh, it finally happened. Here's what we all think about. All the pundits talking, right? Yeah. This could change this. That could change that, And what I'm about to say, they talked about in that initial hubbub, right? But I just thought this is conjecture. But it was like the second weekend, I guess it would have been, right? Since that takeover officially happened. And I was listening to a soccer show. In fact, it might have been the two Robbies, or it might have been one of the NBC sports podcasts. And in the middle of a conversation, nonchalantly, well, it was, and I'm paraphrasing, but where I went, oh God, that's gross, was, they're like, this, that, so and so club. I wonder, how Liverpool will be doing the next few years. Can they maintain without a Virgil van Dijk? How yada yada. Well, Manchester United, so and so and so and so for your top 6 teams. And like, well, yeah, and really, can you call these other teams? Because you'll have Newcastle United at that point. And they were saying it as if just it was a fact that in 2 years, because they can just pump so much money, they weren't even discussing it as a possibility. They just said the reality that, this fight to be a top 6 clubs now or top 4, that really changes. It's top 6 and it might even be top 8 because now that Newcastle United's in there and they were listing them as like probably Man City first, them second for funds. And like, it just was said in such a nonchalant way of the fact that, hey, just get ready because in the next, say 3 years tops, Newcastle United just sits up top. Look, anything can happen. But they're just going to sit up in that top 4 very soon because they can just buy it, which is a lot of the complaints that people had about Man City because people
fair play.
Who are new to the Premier League or the upper league of English soccer don't remember there's a time when Man City was like a joke. They were a nothing club. And now it's not that they have the history, and I'm not knocking if you're a fan, whatever. Like they don't have a long history. They just turned it around because they got so much money.
This takeover is almost 200 million more than what Man City was.
Now it's a few years later,
but
Inflation.
To this,
Yeah.
there was some statistic where like Man City's like 56 million or 56 billion. I don't know what it was. This one's like 200 and some bit. But you're just
So,
like, that's incredible.
In 2 years, does Messi get called the greatest ever because him and Mbappe win the Premier League over Cristiano Ronaldo at Newcastle United? Like,
I don't think anybody's.
would that
I
be
don't think
funny?
that's work. I think this is actually going to be. I don't think this is going to go the way that those jubilant Newcastle fans thought up there. Now, I think they were more jubilant. Not only that Mike Ashley's out and they've wanted him out for years, and he just basically depleted that club of a lot of what they've known and loved, but also that they are getting a very big, hefty bankroll now.
Well,
But I just don't think it's going to go as
Now,
well for them.
let
as
me
they
ask you
think.
this, though.
This is already a controversial move to begin with. And who's to say the Premier League doesn't hold certain things and block a lot of stuff from them?
305 British sterling pounds to own a club that plays in the Championship League next year, because that is also a very big reality.
Yeah.
Because I don't care how much money they've got, they're not going to do anything crazy in the January window. That's because right now, Norwich and Newcastle, and I realize that Burnley is also sitting on 4 points. They just feel like the clubs that are not going to come back out of this.
Yeah.
And I don't know that. So then they go into a championship season. They don't make the Premier League money, but they just destroy the champion. I mean,
We'll
but also,
back up, yeah.
can you just get? You can't get the players you wanted in the championship.
But you can get that next tier that just wants
Yeah.
a payday.
And then all of a sudden, I think it's why a lot of pundits are saying in 2 to 3 years, because there's a big if about what
that
could
was
happen.
that was even the case for Man City. It took them a while, right? It wasn't until they got like the Yaya Tourés and David Silvas and companies that they bought in a lot, but it took them a little while to get there. And then it was when Aguero and whatnot finally came there that it took a few years for them to build it. It's going to take a few years for Newcastle, but I don't think it's going to play out that way. I think this was such a controversial move to begin with that something else is going to occur where the Premier League is going to block it and say your piracy broadcasting stuff over in Saudi Arabia, which was a factor to this as well, but your human rights issues, you're now, this is the state of, or the country of Saudi Arabia owning a team. Like at some point, it would be more controversial as this goes on. Will they get a few players in? Will they move up the table a bit? I think so, but to have the expectations that they are going to be the new Man City, I think you're right. I think we're in a different age that I don't know if that's going to play out quite the way they think.
And it's, I don't know if, people will look at it this way, but you have such a stark, swift change. Some of the conversation already has been how quickly things would change. Like I said, it hit me with just like so gross for just the kind of factual way they were saying, yep. Well, now they'll be right up there with everyone. I've heard there's been a lot of chatter saying that this is an example of why we might want to lessen our disdain for the clubs that wanted to create the Super League, because in some ways this is what a lot of them were worried about, was that these like entities would come in, purchase clubs within their leagues and just decimate them and not be able to make the money. So they were trying to make this. I mean, look, they were going to screw other clubs by doing this too. There's no doubts there. But that part of this was a look. It wasn't just about greed. It was also looking at what was happening around them, and that this might be the smartest thing for those clubs that were like, maybe we should do this to stave off a lot of this.
Yeah. Well, and that's a little bit of the difference. And do you see other leagues, specifically the European soccer leagues, maybe get to the point where they put a U.S. way, a salary cap way of doing this, and no matter who you have, you only have X amount that you can actually pay for players. That's going to be your only payroll.
I think it would take in 3 years Newcastle winning the Premier League in a way that just feels like it was totally bought. You know what I'm saying? But which I guess could happen. But I mean, like if you just, in 3 years you were like, well, here's Newcastle United led by, Harry Kane and defended by Virgil van Dijk. And it's just this ridiculous like lineup that's just
all
bought,
definitely bought.
Yeah, which I mean,
Right.
look, it's a business and it's all bought, any club, but like, it's just. I mean, this is one of those that's kind of interesting, and it kind of exploded and then faded away. I think it's fading away from conversation because of how bad Newcastle is. So the conversation, the best thing for them, those owners in a way could be getting relegated, then setting up their empire and then coming back in
Right.
from there. But it's definitely that is a thing that the clubs and the leagues in France, Spain, everybody is like eyeballing because when does that start happening over here?
What? And it's pretty interesting because why didn't this happen to a team like Barcelona, right? Barcelona's already in financial trouble, right? Why did they go after this? Why aren't they trying to make?
But we don't. One thing we don't know is wonder if the rules in Spain or whatever would have been harsher.
True.
Right. Right. Because we're
And
seeing
you're paying a premium to buy that club opposed to a Newcastle United that Ashley was just trying to sell to make anything back on what he actually sold it for.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, this is like almost because it's a discount like into the system.
Yeah. The interesting thing about this PIF, which is the Public Investment Fund for Saudi Arabia, is that one, it's basically a gigantic savings account for the Saudi Arabian government.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like a money market account.
That's what it is, right? And another interesting thing is that every American uses a company that has been funded by the PIF every day.
Visa?
Nope.
No. Okay. What kind of financial?
Disney, Uber, Facebook, Starbucks.
They all own portions.
All of them
They just don't own a controlling portion.
receive money from the PIF. So in the American's everyday life, you are consuming some product that is in some way funded by the PIF.
Man, Luke Skywalker works for the Saudi Arabian government. That is wild.
Right? And so obviously now they own 80% of Newcastle. The PIF makes
But only because they had to, right? I think it was they couldn't own 100% of that was part of it.
Yeah. But for all intents and purposes, they own 100%.
Yeah.
Right? They own the controlling majority.
So just picture them being like, "Why, guys, calm down. We're hanging out with Mickey over here. We're doing this over here. Calm down."
So out of the 10 people on the board, 2 of them are not Saudi Arabian PIF people. And those 2 go, "Hey, we don't think you should do that." And the other 8 people go, "Okay, thanks. We're doing it anyway." Right? That's what's going to happen.
Here's your check to say no to us to make it look like we listen to people like opposite views.
Right.
Thanks. And they go, "You're welcome. I want that job."
But it's still democracy. It was 8 against 2. We just voted on it.
voted,
Like,
right.
yeah.
So there's definitely, shenanigans at foot.
We'll see. I think that whatever their signings are, if they choose to be super splashy, especially with championship, that'll be one thing. But if they stay in the Premier League, but what sucks? So Steve Bruce is over there, and he's got a couple players who are all thinking, none of us have jobs.
No. You keep maybe a handful
We
of people
get
on that,
relegated. You're not keeping anybody. Other ones are like, probably like, I got to get out. Callum Wilson's like, bro, somebody, Crystal Palace, anybody need a striker.
He's the only one that's probably going to stay at this point. I mean, hell.
Like, let's go.
Or do you stay and go, if I work it out next year with them,
I can get a payday.
I'm going to get quite the payday. Even if I play 2 more years, I make quite the payday, retire, have a nice day.
Now, the sad side of this, the convo Steve Bruce had to say about how bad this screwed up his life sucks.
Yeah.
Like that he got that 1,000th game and people were like, why does Quick get your 1,000th game elsewhere? And I'm like, did you see that interview? Bro, I think he's done.
Yeah.
And like he has had a career and players that have loved him. Like you hear Arteta spoke about him. You heard
Saint Maximin for them came out with a nice statement about how much he's helped him.
They know the 4 points they have, they probably wouldn't have without him. But why, and this, I don't want to open a can of worms, but why is the stick that he gets terrible? And I agree.
Because he doesn't play attractive ball.
But then, no. But I mean, why is the stick he gets? People are like, oh, this is a bit much, guys. But then, like, Ole gets raked over the coals, and that's okay. Like, why are we? Oh, this is really sad. Is it because he actually, unlike most coaches, came out and said, "This sucks the way I've been treated."
Yeah,
and just like Ole hasn't, or any other manager who's been in that position.
It was different because
that's his club, man.
Well, he said it was his club, but he's coached Sunderland before. That is a hated right to coach Sunderland is like Kenny Dalglish coming over to coach Man United.
What about Benitez?
Not happening.
What about Benitez?
No, but Benitez he hasn't coached Sunderland. He can coach any other team, just hasn't coached Sunderland.
No, but I mean, didn't he go from Liverpool?
Not to United?
No, where did he go?
He went to Everton. He went to
right, but I'm saying like
that's not because that's not as bad as the Newcastle and Sunderland. That's a bigger derby, in my opinion, than Liverpool and Everton, because Everton really have never put up a fight.
It's been a very one-sided derby.
Yes, I mean, but you're also across this. I mean, but that is Geordies and Newcastle that is life. Black and white is what they bleed. To have a manager come in that has coached Sunderland and held up scarves and said they're the best thing, yada, 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 and all those things, and then to come in and say, I've been in Newcastle my entire life. And it very well won't be true. As a kid, that may have been his club and blah, 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 blah. It's a business. Managers just move around, but that's a tough divide.
I agree. I wonder how fast or if it changes if he's winning.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. Well,
right.
I mean, winning cures all, right?
Yeah.
In any sport, you brush things under the carpet. You forget about the little things here and there. Winning,
but you have pundits on TV constantly that are like, "Man, Ole's not the guy from Man United. Lovely bloke though, legend of the club." I love that now they're like, "Oh, people have been too hard on Bruce." I'm like, "Look, 5 games ago, you guys were." Harsh too.
Annihilated.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's not exactly fair
because he just doesn't play any sort of attractive style.
You may not have been, what the guys will say out in the club and the chants and stuff, but still, that just sucks.
It's rough for him. Yeah,
and I'm kind of, I think it was either Arteta maybe who made the comment about how important it was that he said something. He was like, these are still people.
Oh, yeah.
That are like, he was like, I mean, come and go and it's important, but like, it's still a person. Like
the two things we don't talk about as much, we always talk about, which is, don't mistake me. I'm not doing this to make light of anything, but we always talk about how players are treated on the field, right? With racism and, if they're scoring, they're good. If they're not winning, they're terrible. And their treatment online and in the stands. Barely anyone talks about two people or two groups of people, managers, refs, right? Unless
no
they're
one cares
screwing
about the
up,
refs.
right? So we only hear about the extreme cases of a referee making a bad call and then being dragged through the streets of Rio de Janeiro, right? We don't hear about the fact that these guys sometimes make bad calls. Sometimes they make good calls, but the other team still doesn't like it. So they get death threats.
Do you know the quote I'm referring to? They spoke to Arteta just prior to the Villa game. And it got around a bunch because it was just one of the, when a coach is honest. Okay, well, Steve Bruce was honest about his thing. And then Arteta kind of reacted honestly. So, of course, it gets shared because so often they're just supposed to,
right?
It's a rough thing. But what he said was because he said, I was really sad after reading the statement from Steve. Arteta told reporters before Friday's Premier League match against Aston Villa, you're talking about someone that's been in the game for over 40 years that has managed over 1,000 games. He's telling you with that experience that he struggled with the kind of abuse that he received. We can't take for granted that things are the way they are. We have to improve and change them. I think we have to think about it when one of the most experienced managers in English history is telling you something. No one's talked like that about coaches, about the managers. Right. And of course it takes someone coming forward and actually, saying something like, hey, this sucks.
Yeah.
Like, guys, this is really brutal. I mean, because some of the stuff that's said is just like,
And the English press is
Brutal.
just
yeah, and they're like,
Brutal.
people,
unforgivable.
the fans have just treated him so poorly. You go yourself, man, because you've been part of that. Like,
Yep.
The old 2-finger
Yeah.
salute to him.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I
And in some ways, they instigate it.
that's
Oh,
what
yeah.
I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah.
They fuel
Every
the fire,
match.
100%.
I didn't start the fire. It was always burning when Newcastle was yearning.
All right.
So one last question on
If
this
you
topic.
pour another one,
I'm
just
not.
no, okay.
I'm not.
Not yet.
Oh, not yet.
Save you one till the end.
I have the beer all set for the next.
Is this this whole takeover of Newcastle? Sorry, going back to that real quick. Is this whole thing, in your opinion, sports washing? And the definition of sports
you mean
washing?
like money laundering?
No.
Oh, that's where my brain went. Like with money laundering with sports, because
No,
it could
It's been
be.
done before.
Sports washing is a government using its influence on a game or club to enhance its public opinion around the world.
Like
So
to show never mind.
some country
Yeah, if they can get into the Champions League, if they can get into I mean, get around and
to make the global opinion of that country, and really
Yeah,
what we mean is that prince.
I don't think it always works, but I don't think it's.
Yeah.
I don't think
Well-
there's not a thought of it.
Oh, there's definitely a thought of it, but with the amount of news that we know and insider
Can you
stuff now,
just
I just
fathom that what you're talking about situation with so much money. Let's say anyone of us gets $500 million tomorrow, and you're like, but you can have this, but you need to invest it to like make more money to a certain percentage, and then you can keep it. That's the deal within a year. Let me tell you,
Oh, what is that movie?
Buying a-
Brewster's Millions.
yes, buying a football club, that ain't one of those things.
Right.
This is something you do when you're just like, I don't know what else to do with all of this money.
Yeah.
But
Well,
let's go take this that could lose this, that could, man.
allegedly, this was a 300 million pound deal,
Close to 5.
right? But the billions that come out of this PIF, this is
It's nothing.
according to statistics that I just read from the BBC. It is 1/76th the amount of money that this PIF has.
So they sneeze, and Newcastle now has, as I said, Messi and Mbappe and Neymar, and like they don't even notice it. Like they don't even know.
1/76th, 300 million pounds. 1/76th. That's incredible. That's an ass load of money.
And 305 million
money
pounds.
and-
What's that like? 425 US.
I didn't do the conversion, but it's probably somewhere in there.
Monopoly. I want to know. Well, Ferris gives beer. I want to see how close I was.
All right, gents. Second beer.
Bye, Joe?
By John. No, we're not yet. I was up in Vermont this week, and this brewery came recommended by a few, even another bartender at one of the breweries that I stopped into. But this beer is
420 million. I was very
Nice, you were
close.
super
Hey,
close.
there you go. From Foam Brewers. See him at foambrewers.com. Founded in 2016 by an eclectic group of industry professionals with a shared appreciation for brewing, science, art, music, and culture. If you would like to get to know more about the individuals behind the brewery, stop on by for a little foam.
What's their name?
Foam?
Foam Brewers.
FOAM. Wow.
Exactly.
We need some like beer intro music. I gotta get.
They're on their kind of about section, an ode to foam. Foam,
Ode
it's
to
always been a unconscious calling, like drifting into a cumulus cloud bank on a sun-drenched day, or collapsing in a frothy curl of a breaking wave. Foam, its natural beauty that rises up and is here and gone in a moment in time.
That was beautiful.
There's like
poetic.
another 2 paragraphs that's by Todd Hare.
Would you
but I'm
call
not
that
gonna
a
go into-
foam poem?
Dad jokes early.
Early.
So foambrewers.com, their beer, and that I actually had on draft there, that I actually had a few of them because I tried something and then went back to it, but this one was very intriguing to me when I first saw it. And the reason being is How many times have you heard of something called a 7% sour Indian Pale Ale?
Never.
Right. Never once.
You sent or said what you were drinking. I was like, I don't even know what an Indian. Wait a second. I thought more was coming. I thought the Baijiu was coming back up, and it didn't. I did never heard of an Indian Pale Ale sour. I can't wait.
Correct. Now this is now on their site. It says on site only, no growler fills. But I asked, and they did have a 4-pack of cans that I have here.
Nice.
This sour Indian Pale Ale with Cara orange, Meyer lemon, vanilla, lactose, dry hopped with Galaxy, Cornet, and Strata hops.
Wow.
Collaboration with Clever Girls, a rock band straight out of Vermont.
I love everything
Vermont
about this
in particular. So in Burlington, Vermont was within walking distance to the hotel that I was staying at.
Nice.
This sounds super interesting.
It is very interesting, and
Except
it was very,
it's a
very
sour.
good. Now, Ron, right? I know you're not a big sour fan, but to welcome you back to the States, I figured I'm going to combine a sour, which you don't like, and IPAs, which you do like, and we're going to
See what happens.
see what happens. Constellations.
I got to pour this
Can is just your steel can with a wrap on it that has
What's the cat with the
a cat
eyeballs?
with yellow. It's like a bad Photoshop for the
Exactly.
cup. I'm going to pour this into glasses. I feel like I want to smell
yeah.
this bad
Yeah, yeah.
boy.
I can't imagine this pairs well with Baijiu.
Oh.
I didn't know you were doing Baijiu.
Well, it's very cloudy, like a sour. It looks like a lemonade coming out.
Yeah, it's
Ooh.
because Meyer
Ooh.
lemons,
I smell the lemons, bro.
Cara orange, which is a fruit. Pours beautifully out of the can too.
This okay.
That's very.
It's
very aromatic.
super cloudy. Pairs well with my Wolverine glass. I don't know. if
It
you can
does,
tell.
actually.
It
Wow.
looks really good.
Those hops are.
They
really,
are
really
prevalent.
I mean, you
Smell the lactose, which
and what it's again that dry hop that you're smelling
Yeah.
so much of the.
we'll see how
of the
tonight
hops.
goes.
in the end of fermentation.
Since I last saw you guys, have definitely become lactose intolerant. So we'll see what that happens. I haven't had lactose in beer yet. We'll see how that goes.
No. Ooh.
Yeah. So
Okay.
between that and the Baijiu, I'm sure my stomach will be totally fine tonight. Yeah. I'm gonna be in. Yeah. Oh god.
You might be.
You're gonna have a case of the trots.
Yeah. We'll run out of the middle of rehearsal tomorrow.
From Burlington, Vermont, gents. Cilantro.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Beautiful up there, by the way.
Especially
Beautiful
in
city.
fall.
Oh yeah, beautiful city. The foliage was point.
Love the foliage. Oh man. I don't. This is hard to describe.
Has a little bit more tartness than what I had on draft. It could just be from the.
Well, the lemon is like prevalent.
Mhm.
Like it's really good. Man, this is everything the Baijiu is. This is not. This has got a sweet flavor hitting the back of my tongue palate.
Yep.
It's got a bitterness in the middle of it. That is.
I guess that'd be the hops from the
Yeah,
the
a little
IPA.
It to have a 7% sour IPA. It's one of those things where you
straight
just
up,
yeah.
one of my favorite sours I think I've ever had.
Yeah.
This is delicious. Because you
But
know
is it a sour or is it an IPA?
I love a good lemonade.
It's definitely a sour.
And
Now-
this is like a lemonade IPA, and I mean that in the best way possible.
A lot of like with
I
the
don't-
lactose.
Other than the smell, there is nothing IPA about it. Maybe
I
the
mean, I get
slight
the-
bitterness.
The hops are there.
Aromatic purposes only. You
Right.
don't really taste them.
No, not overly heavy. It's not gonna get that, but like a lot of
That lemon overpowers.
this is kind of a lot of beer perfectionist or beer what I'm looking for the word.
Sommeliers and not
Correct.
sommeliers, but the
They're called
the-
a lot of-
cicerones.
A lot of the sours that are being made aren't really sours. They're like faux sours.
Right.
Because of the way they're doing it with the lactose, and I don't know fully this, that, and the other, but this I had like two or three of these because
It's like we need a new
was
style
tasting.
name, like an American sour or something
Right.
like that. It needs a new style name.
right. But for has someplace called Foam Brewers, and you go there, and it's this very like SpongeBob SquarePants like thing where there's these foam like colorful loops on the bar and things kind of coming from the ceiling, and it this just seemed to match the vibe that they have
I
there.
feel like the way I want to describe this, because I like this. This is good. But I couldn't convince someone to like it off of my description because it's like I'm drinking a very pulpy orange juice beer.
But lemonade.
Yeah,
Like,
I
it's
could see
very
that if you
thick.
said lemonade.
Do you know what I'm
but
saying?
not orange juice.
But it's thicker than lemonade doesn't get thick like an orange juice does with its pulp. And This
Yeah.
has just got a thick viscosity.
Viscosity.
I like it. I'm in. I'm down.
I figured you would. Ron, I figured
I
he
am
just kind of...
down to clown.
Hey, you brought that stuff, now you gotta drink that.
My stomach is like, what are
Oh,
you
yeah.
doing?
It's really like a milky lemonade that smells like an IPA.
That sounds like heaven.
There's zero head retention. There's no lacing.
Yep.
It's
Delicious.
eh.
And you can't get it here. You can only get it, and I mean, they don't even like sell this outside of the brewery.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well grabbed.
Thank you.
Thank you for the rare beer.
You're welcome. Glad I can be of service. Welcome back to the United States of America. Which I realized why it's called New England now. I flew into a place called Manchester, New Hampshire. I then passed Londonderry and all these English towns that I'm like, when am I in? Am I in England? No, I'm in.
Well, you're New England.
They named everything after cities.
I never put that
Like,
two and two
we
together.
have come to a new land. We shall
Name
give
everything
it
the same.
names. Where are you from?
New Cumberland.
Leicestershire.
Yeah,
We'll call it
Leicestershire,
New
yeah.
Leicestershire.
Yeah. What the hell?
I'm from Colombia. We'll call it New Colombia. Caledonia. New Caledonia. Which is my favorite trope in science fiction stories where they're like, this planet is New York.
Right.
I think it's a Doctor Who thing, isn't it? This is New York. It's not the original New York.
Even old New York was once New Amsterdam.
New York was right. New
Anyone?
York is a
Anyone?
history.
No? They might be giants? Never mind. Look it up.
God, this is great.
I told. That's why I sat there and I was like, I tried like a double IPA or something that they had. That was good, but I went, can I have the first thing I had back? Because I want that again.
You're like, I want to try the new stuff, but I need another one of these.
I want that again. Cool vibe there. They had this. You guys ever heard of Time Lapse Consortium?
I have not.
It was a jazz band that was the offshoot of one of the Incubus drummers or guitarist.
I think it was the guitarist.
Cool. They only came out, I think, with like one album. It was fantastic, but they had that kind of band there that was just like jazz Incubus style. That was just really chill and cool and good vibe there in the brewery, and just enjoyed my time at Foam.
That's rad.
Bet
I
it's
like
a
their
great
foam
brewery.
poem.
Well, there's more to the Foam poem. I just didn't want to take up time by
Just got to go to the website, check it out.
reading. Exactly.
Well, that's-
Foambrewers.com.
Well, that's because we do a quick whip around the Europe for the La Liga's roundup.
And at the end, we get a buy Joe shot.
Oh, right. I mean, I like this
Compared
sentiment.
with the sour.
To be honest,
it might actually be
think
okay.
this helps.
Yeah. That
Because
lemon takes out that.
lemon,
yeah.
that whatever that is
Yep,
on the very back of my tongue.
We'll see.
Because the Baijiu, I'm like, okay. There's just something at the very back of my tongue.
It's going to be good for you up here, but bad for you down here in
Oh,
the stomach.
without a doubt.
You don't even need a visual.
Yeah, no.
That's perfect.
Yeah, in the middle of work tomorrow, I'm going to be in a meeting and be like, excuse me,
Pardon me.
my wife's calling.
First, you're going to repeat it. You're
Yeah.
going to burp it and be like,
Oh. Was that you just now? You weren't trying to do that. It just came out of
Nope.
nowhere. Oh my
That came
god!
out of nowhere.
I thought you hit the button on the
Nope.
machine there.
That is Qingdao lager with Baijiu
and
mixed with a lemonade sour IPA.
Yes.
Whoa. There is a science experiment going on in my bowels right now.
You know where I tried to go, but I couldn't because they closed. About an hour from 45 minutes from Burlington. Oh my god!
Blake just turned inside out.
I'm gonna prolapse my esophagus. Oh, jeez.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Oh my god!
Oh,
Anyways, I was going to try to go to Alchemist Brewing because it's about 45 minutes, but
Yeah.
they're on some
Oh.
very COVID hours and the brew house is closed for the season. But I was going to try to bring back a 4-pack of
great
Alchemist
brewery.
or of Heady Topper for us, but I couldn't get out there in time to see him. So
Yeah, I got to. I brought some stuff back for you guys too. I got some good Carolina beers on a little vacation trip I took for. If you ever get the chance, man, where we stayed in Swannanoa, they were like 113 breweries and 4 cideries and 1 sake brewery within like an hour and a half of us. And when I say that, I mean some of them were 10 minutes from us. It was crazy.
It's walking distance.
So much.
that's awesome.
It's walking distance except when you're on the mountainside. Then you're like, I don't know about them apples.
I'm going to roll down. Anyways,
Then it's a 3-minute trip. You just don't feel very good at the end of it.
over to Europe we go.
Oh,
I have a new phrase for you this week. Well, wouldn't you know? Bayern Munich sit atop of the German Bundesliga by a single point over Borussia Dortmund, who sit in second.
wouldn't you know?
Bayern were all over the 11th place club Hoffenheim on Saturday, winning 4-0 with goals from Gnabry, Lewandowski, Choupo-Moting, and Coman. They were just all over 'em.
Is anyone surprised?
No, not at all. Dortmund and third place Freiburg were also winners on the weekend, but in more substantial games that were a little bit more two-sided. But nonetheless, they still won. While fourth place Bayern Leverkusen can only muster a draw against FC Cologne. After 9 matches, the Bundesliga is starting to shape up as expected. When you have Bayern up there and you have Dortmund.
And you have Lewandowski.
For me, he's the Ballon
Future
d'Or winner.
star of Newcastle United.
Yeah, right? That'd be hysterical.
Not wrong. That's a sad thing. But Bundesliga, which I think you can see on ESPN Plus nowadays.
Yes, yeah. Good coverage, too.
Good coverage. I like the Fox. I wish they would have stayed with Fox. I like what the Fox did with it. But
But what helps ESPN is their FC show with that, too.
Yeah. Then, well, wouldn't you know, Juventus are 6th.
6th?
That is correct.
What?
After 9 matches in the Serie A, it is Napoli who's tied on 25 points with AC Milan.
That's wild.
Well, that Ronaldo guy was pretty damn good, wasn't it?
Turns out.
Wouldn't you know?
Well, we'll get down to Barca here in a second. But Inter sit in third, followed by Roma, Atalanta, and then finally Juventus. Juve are on a good run of form, though, as of late, as they drew 1-1 with Inter just on Sunday, which would have been yesterday, and are currently on a 4-0 run in their last 4 matches, beating Mourinho's Mourinho's I literally typed Mourinho's Roma 1-0 a few weeks back. So,
Future manager of Newcastle United.
Right?
Tony Romo, yeah.
No.
Gotcha.
Jose Mourinho.
Jose Mourinho, 100%.
I meant to mention that.
Jordy?
But
Oh, you could see him in Jordy. Yes.
he
would look beautiful in black and white
Guys,
again.
Right?
Guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. He is going to be the manager of Newcastle United.
100%.
God.
I believe that with every fiber of my being. He is going to be
Or
the manager.
the technical GM director, whatever they call it over there. 100%. No. Ultimately, it has been Napoli and AC Milan who have yet to lose a game in the Serie A this season, are scoring machines as they are a plus 16 for Napoli and a plus 13 for AC Milan, respectively.
Guys. Did you see what Jose Mourinho said about Newcastle after those announcements were made?
No, I didn't.
He talked about how much he liked what had happened, things, the club and the culture over there, and said he's already done it.
Fighting for
He's
it.
already
He's
positioning.
Yes, he is.
Ready, been like, hello,
He's a smart man.
Saudi prince.
God, loved it.
Let me just, I got
Love
a
it.
buck.
Night
I got a bucket of Heineken to hang out with you. Bring
Can
over.
you see him in a pub with a bunch of Geordies? It would be brilliant.
God, that would be. It would just make everything go full circle, right?
100%.
All's right with the world.
It would be
It's-
100%.
It's, well, for one, I need that arrogant SOB back in the Premier League. But, dude, I saved it until we got to that's happening.
That is fantastic.
That's
that is fantastic.
And people were already, like, soon as, I forget what he said about the culture of unit, and everybody in the football world was like this. Side eye to It's just
Right?
like, really,
Like,
dude? You probably already could have just easily been considered, but you're just like,
you're in.
he's like,
You're in.
and Tammy Abraham's like, hey, whoa, you convinced me to not stay in Premier League to, aw.
Sorry, Tammy. Bye.
Tammy Abraham, star of the championship league next year,
right?
to get them back
With
in the
Chris
Premier League.
Smalling in defense there. Don't forget that either. Anyways, all the big boys in Serie A are sitting in
I
the
just
top
want to
six.
write a sitcom about Jose Mourinho. But anyway,
Love it. All of the big boys are sitting in the top six of the Serie A, so keep an eye out on the Italian top flight to see how they trade blows over the next 9 matches, if the previous 9 matches are anything to tell us right now.
and when will Jose Mourinho be announced as the new coach
100%.
of Newcastle United?
God, that is going to be amazing.
Pochettino's already positioning to come back to Spurs. He said some stuff in the press. I'm like,
Does Van Gaal come back to United?
if the
Only if he does another
that would complete the
Shot by
trifecta.
a
Yeah, right.
sniper fall.
showing what an actual foul or fake is.
While holding perfectly onto that clipboard. In
Pochettino, Jose Mourinho, and Van Gaal came back at the same time,
Could you imagine?
Love it.
I wouldn't leave my couch, just be watching all Premier
Oh
League
my
punch
God.
from the, what are you
Eating
doing?
Pies
You couldn't,
and
couldn't write this as a sitcom.
No,
No,
people
right.
are like, that's not believable.
but it's possible. Well, wouldn't you know? It's Real Sociedad. Hold up. Not Madrid?
Mm-mm.
No. Sociedad. But don't worry, Madrid fans. You are sitting in second in the league, just 1 point behind the currently better Real. But they have played one more match at this point in time. Now, Real Madrid do, however, take the honors of the weekend as they won the first El Clasico of the season, beating their fierce rivals Barcelona 2-1 yesterday.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a 2-1 that was necessarily close. That one goal by Barca was scored by Sergio Aguero in like the 94th plus minute, which might be his
Choppers.
first for the goal. No.
Not Chopper,
not
just
Aguero.
Sergio.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sergio Aguero. My bad.
Danny Alba and Lucas Vazquez are the ones that added more misery to Barca and their supporters, as they are currently sitting in 9th place in the La Liga table.
I feel like Ferris after that cookie puss when he just kept burping every 5 minutes.
Now you know how I felt.
God, that stuff has reacted to me.
Yep.
You called it.
It's statistically
You were like,
gonna
science,
happen.
baby.
One of you.
Science.
Someone's gonna have this in 15 minutes.
And I was thinking that doesn't usually. I
And
don't
in like
usually
8
react that
minutes,
way.
you were like, bleh.
You've been, yeah.
Speaking of which,
Uh,
I'll just
start
pour
pouring,
the
start
last
pouring.
one.
Yeah,
Yep,
just
start
go
pouring.
to the last one as we get wrapped up.
Barcelona, with only 4 wins, 3 draws, and 2 losses thus far, sitting on 13 points, 8 points behind the league leaders. This just isn't what the Catalonian club is used to expecting over the past several years. They also are either in second, third, or fourth. I don't remember exactly in their UEFA Champions League. group.
Whoa, Ron. Let's just be
What?
easy
That's
with the
fair.
pour
That's
there.
fair. That's okay.
Okay.
That's what I've been given. I went to the top of the little crenellations. Mine's the
The
same.
crenellations. Is that a word?
It's been a long pod. It's still a long year in the
Oh, my
La Liga
God.
table, but they will still have to surpass the likes of Sevilla, Atletico Madrid, Real Betis, Osasuna, Real Vallecano, and Atletico Bilbao, who are all ahead of them in that order, to even get a sniff at the top of the table.
The mighty have fallen.
The mighty
And
have fallen hard.
Yeah, they did.
Which, you think about years past, right? You had the likes of United, Barcelona, Arsenal that were up there, right? Now you have some teams that were just sitting right below there, like your Chelseas, your Liverpools, even Real Madrid to a certain extent, but not so much. They just continue to roll on, that are just continually popping up now. But anyway, well, what do you know? It is, in fact, Paris Saint-Germain who sit atop of the Uber Eats French League One table on 28
I
points.
still can't get over the Uber Eats leak.
According to you, is also partly owned by the PFI.
Yep.
Whatever they're called.
PIF.
PIF, same thing.
Piff.
Yep. Called PIF. Oddly enough, though, after now playing 4 games for his new club, Lionel Messi has not delivered like Uber Eats usually does and has accumulated 0 goals and 0 assists in the league.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
He hasn't even played all 4. He hasn't even played all the matches.
No, yeah, he set out a few. The only goals he scored has been in the Champions League, which have been some beauties, but has not scored in the league or really played any effect. It's really been the likes of Kylian Mbappe, who has 5 goals and 4 assists so far with the help of right back Achraf Hakimi and center midfielder Ander Herrera, who have each had 3 goals and 2 assists so far on the year. So they're getting a lot of play from players that were kind of already there. Hakimi was brought in, was on Dortmund on loan last year, and he was ultimately a Real Madrid player, and I think then sold to PSG. But they're getting likes there. I mean, it's messy. He's showing up in the Champions Leagues against the likes of like Man City, so he'll come good. But just right now, they haven't really got off to the mark. But they're still in first. Yesterday, PSG and Marseille, who's sitting 4th on 18 points, played to a 0-0 draw, while Lens, who's sitting 2nd, won 4-1 against Mainz, and Nice, who's sitting 3rd, beat Lyon 3-2 in a match filled with a red card in the 85th and a Nice penalty to tie it up, and then a 90+2 winner to come back from behind in that match. So, although French League is shaping up quite as expected, you still have the likes of Lyon and Marseille, who are a little bit down on the table. But that league's actually been quite interesting this year just because of all of the during game, these red cards, all of the kind of around the game. You just have a little bit of a news minefield there with everything that's been there, you know. And you had Mbappe come out last week and say that the next World Cup might be his last because he just, you know, it's an interesting league this year, more so than it has been. However, after the duo of Mark Hamill and Patrick Stewart, as well as Elton John and Little Nas, who do you have next to appear in a new Uber Eats commercial?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Jose Mourinho and Van Gogh would be nice.
Oh my God, that'd be funny.
Well, based on the way this is right now, American actor, British actor.
That's true.
British musician, American musician. Elton John, Little Nas.
True.
I say it's going to be Mick Jagger and Nicki Minaj.
Hey.
What is my dream casting?
Go ahead.
Oh, dream casting? Oh,
Well, I mean, based on the way they're doing this so far, man, I right now, it's Nicolas Cage and Sir Anthony Hopkins.
wow.
I was going to go Colin Farrell and Will Ferrell.
I like that.
Yeah, you do.
But Anthony Hopkins plays. Everybody knows Nick
I
Cage
love
plays
Anthony
nuts.
Hopkins,
Anthony Hopkins loves to play crazy people.
Yeah.
So
He's
I'm just
good at it,
saying
too.
that could be
He's
a
good at
really
it,
good
yeah.
combo.
He's good at it. Colin Farrell, which blew me for a surprise.
The
Penguin?
Batman trailer.
That's not him. There's no way that's him.
Doing
That's
his-
zero. That's no.
doing his best De Niro impression, and I don't mean that in it like it's a put down. It doesn't sound like him.
It's not him.
Like,
There's no way.
Why would you hire him to play that role? Because you're like, why not just get a guy that looks like that?
That's a hell of a makeup job.
I didn't see it.
Have you seen it? I'll just show you the
Google
trailer.
it after when we're done. It will blow your mind. You're like, wait, that person's Colin Farrell?
That can't be Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell is which guy again?
He's
in the-
Penguin.
He was
No.
In Bruges.
he was the first Fantastic Beast. He was the guy until Johnny Depp turned
Yep.
into him. He's been in
The
so many.
Recruit with Al Pacino.
Yeah,
Have to
he's an
look him up.
Irish actor.
Oh,
Irish
yeah,
actor,
he played
dark
like-
hair, beard. Like
He was in like
good-looking guy.
SWAT and
Yes.
SWAT.
Yes.
Yes.
okay, got
Yes. Got it.
Which you bring up SWAT. My other choice would have been like
Go on.
Samuel Jackson,
Yeah, go on.
Idris Elba.
Yep,
Put those
yep.
two together. There, I would have.
I would
really
love that one
enjoyed
too,
that. That would
100%,
also be a
100%.
really good one. That'd really be a good one.
I'd actually be okay with Idris Elba being the next Bond. Speaking
Oh,
of,
yeah.
I
Wouldn't
would,
that be
I would be
nice?
okay with it. Yeah.
Rumor has it it's a female.
Well,
no, it's not.
I think you gotta see the
exactly
movie.
How? Yeah, you have to see the movie to
Yeah.
figure out how that. Just see it. It plays a lot on the numbers, not so much the.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
interesting.
I'm just saying
It's interesting.
from friends across the pond that have something to do with the film industry.
Mm.
Rumor has it it's a
Insider
female.
knowledge.
Just saying.
I could see it, but I don't see it. I don't think that'd be the case.
I'll say this: if you did it for a bit, it'd give you the chance to loop back around and do it fresh again. Well, let you do that fresh again, and then let you.
It's
do
a
it
hard
fresh
reset
again.
button.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But
Which
newest
is
Bond film
tough because not the Sean Connery vibe, but like in the terms of, but the next person right after Daniel Craig, oof, that's rough. That's tough.
If you haven't seen on Apple Plus, they have the kind of docu-series or the docu show on Daniel Craig and his basically.
Have you seen On Her Majesty's Secret
fantastic.
Service? It really bugs me. That's the one
No,
Bond you haven't seen.
Correct.
You got to see that. It's so good. So much what you love about New Bond was birthed in that one. Poor George Lazenby got hosed.
Oh, don't even get me started.
Wait, he was the first guy after.
We might as well hit stop now and record a whole nother pod. We can go off.
But you can't talk about it because you haven't seen it.
Is that your dad joke?
No, go
Okay.
see it, and then we can talk about it. You can't have an opinion if you don't watch.
Every other Bond movie besides that.
So then you got no opinion. Sounds to me.
Correct, but I don't.
No, I'm with Blake on this one. You got to watch
see it. We should watch it together. It'd be a fun one.
Just go watch it. We'll hold your hand through it.
And you're going to go like this, too. You're going to go,
rough.
man, a lot
Gonna
of
be
Casino
rough.
Royales.
I'll bring the Baijiu.
You can say a lot of Casino Royale
I'll be
stuff
laughing off my ass.
won't feel as new to you. You'll go, oh, they actually did a lot of this before. Just saying. Poor George Lazenby. You know, he's even got that line he gives to the camera. Do you remember that?
I know I don't because I've never seen it. so.
This is not his fault. In the beginning of the movie, like he tries to rescue this girl in the ocean, and she slaps him, and they literally, for the opening, have him turn to the camera and go, that happened to the other gentleman. That's not his fault. That's not his fault.
No, that was direction.
Daniel Craig was a much better Bond than I would initially thought. A very good Bond, like Daniel Craig. Anyways, Blake, wrap up. We do another Baijiu. Did I say that right?
Baijiu,
Yeah.
you said
Holy
it.
hell!
job.
Pod, I finally got it.
It
right.
only took you to the end of this pod.
We'll do it after the dad joke, and we'll just.
I don't want to salute to that.
send
No, I
it
don't want
off.
to salute to that.
Send it off on the end.
I'd rather do it before and then have him have have everybody.
You
turn
just want to numb the pain of the dad joke.
what I want.
How you guys want to do this?
Go ahead and whatever.
All right. I don't have much of a dad joke. I was not supposed to be here tonight. Originally, I was supposed to go see the new science fiction film that just came out with a buddy of mine, the one that takes place in deserts. I was like, I can't do it tonight because I'm doing something. I'm doing something.
Yeah.
I give you a point for creativity and coming up with the newest thing that. But
I'm doing something.
Ron, what kind of salute, nice thing do you have to say to all of us tonight?
This is what Ferris would do. He was like, I don't have anything nice to say after this.
Gentlemen,
It's been fun doing this with you.
that was so bad. It's the Baijiu laughing.
Too many Baijiu.
It's the Baijiu laughing.
100% the Baijiu. I have tears coming down the side. It's put 100% the Baijiu.
All right.
Watch out.
Gentlemen, I love you both. Gambay.
Cheers to that.
Gambay.
Gambay.
And chase it. Ooh.
The sour helps. It's so much more potent than the lager.
Oh, 100%. You get initially a little tingly, strong clip, but then it fades away.
Yeah, definitely the sour.
better.
Sour's
Yep.
doing it right. with
Make
the
sure you
Baijiu.
finish that glass. You got some floating around in the bottom.
Hey, come on. No, I'm good, mate. You don't see.
Tip that over. Tip it.
No, you got a little. You got a little,
Finish
you got a little
that.
lip.
It's a drop. Yeah, you're right. Not even
It's, it's that root vibe at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, whatever you're doing this week, we're glad you tuned in.
Ooh,
Ah.
good times. That sour is rough.
Well,
No.
sour's fantastic. Back the
Yes.
booze bus up a little bit. Hold on.
Yeah. Ooh. Hold on a second. I can't end the show till I need a little more of this out of my out of the palate. All right, gentlemen. Three Musketeers. Whoa, there wasn't
was
me.
mine.
That was
Holy
Ron.
hell.
That was mine.
There you go.
That was from the old gut there, wasn't it?
Well, Ron,
Congratulations.
thank you for the education tonight. Ferris, thank you for bringing something stronger flavored to make the last one go down a bit smoother.
You're welcome.
And Whoop, I thought I was about to blow. I'm good to go.
Wouldn't this be something if we didn't actually hit record on this pod?
Oh, man.
Whew, whoops.
I would say just do one more Baijiu and I won't care.
That's true.
That's fine.
We'll do it again later.
All right, gentlemen. Love the beer. Cherish the game. Good to be back together.
Thank you,
Hell
gents.
yeah.
The Brewtiful Game.